Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I will call the June 23rd, 2026 closed session City Council meeting to order. City Clerk, may we please have a roll call?
Councilmember Clark,
Present.
Councilmember Lodge, Councilmember Peterson,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Males,
Here.
Mayor Krupa.
Here. Move into public comment for closed session. City Clerk, are there any registered speakers?
There are no registered speakers, Mayor.
Is there anyone online? I forgot to ask that last time.
I don't see anyone online.
All righty. With that, council will now proceed to closed session. Thank you for joining us, and a report out of closed session will occur after deliberations.
Mayor, for the record, we intend on calling Councilmember Lodge from the telephone line for closed session, and then for open session, he will be participating pursuant to the Brown Act remote teleconferencing provisions.
Very good. We will have Councilmember Lodge in the meeting in a few minutes. Here we go.
Hello.
Hello, Councilmember Lodge. This is City Clerk Butler. How are you?
Hello.
Hello?
Hi.
Councilmember Lodge, can you hear me?
Not barely, but yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Okay,
much
perfect.
better.
If I can please ask you, Councilmember Lodge, to mute yourself during the meeting?
If I could what?
Mute your phone during the meeting?
Oh, yeah.
Because we do get a
Okay.
lot of feedback.
All right.
Okay.
I do have a private dining room tonight, so
Okay.
won't be getting any feedback from people.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, we're good.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I would like to call the June 23rd, 2026 regular City Council meeting to order. City Clerk, may we have a roll call?
Councilmember Clark?
Present.
Council,
Here.
Councilmember Peterson?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Males?
Here.
Mayor Krupa?
Here. All 5 of us are present in one form or the other?
Yes.
All right, thank you. All right, the invocation tonight. I don't see Dale Garland in the audience.
Out here.
Mayor Pro Tem, would you please lead us in the invocation?
Okay. If you want to hear animal control invocation. Bow your heads, please. Oh, well. Father God, as we start this meeting, we just pray that everyone's on the same page, everyone is prepared for the best night ever. We thank you for bringing us together. We thank you for this council that's here today, for the people in the audience, and we just pray that everyone is ready for this meeting, and we thank you for everything that you do for us, Father God. In Jesus Christ's name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Sorry about that.
That was okay. Jackie, would you lead us in the pledge?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you, everyone. City Attorney, could we please have a report out of closed session?
Thank you, Mayor. For item 5A, for one of the potential cases, the City Council gave authority to initiate litigation by a vote of 5-0. There's no other reportable action out of the closed session.
All right, thank you very much. We will go on to presentations. Tonight we have 2, and they are celebrations for the United States. The first one is going to be a presentation that Jackie Peterson will present to the city, and it's from the entire council, so I'm going to ask all of the council members to come down front. And Noah, as interim city manager, if you would be the receptee or receptor of the proclamation. Let's go.
I'll be right there.
Proclamation for Independence Day. Whereas on July 4th, 1776, the 13th American colonies courageously declared their independence, laying the foundation for a free and self-governing people. And this day stands above all others as a symbol of our nation's enduring commitment to liberty, equality, and democratic ideals. Each year, the 4th of July offers us an opportunity to reflect on the sacrifices made by those who came before us and to rededicate ourselves to the values enshrined in the Declaration of Independence. whereas the strength of our community is rooted in civic pride, public service, and our shared responsibility to uphold freedom, justice, and unity. And in the face of ever-evolving challenges, both at home and abroad, the people of the United States of America remain steadfast in their commitment to the shared pursuit of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And whereas it is fitting and proper that the residents of the city of Hemet join together in celebration and remembrance on this historic day. Now, therefore, Linda Krupa, Mayor of the City of Hemet, along with the Hemet City Council, do hereby proclaim July 4th, 2026 as Independence Day. And in the 250th year of our nation's independence, we invite all residents to reflect on the meaning of freedom, to participate in civic celebration, and to rededicate themselves to the enduring principles of democracy, equality, and community spirit. And we are giving this to the city of Hemet. There you go. Would you like to say anything?
No, I think you said it all. Just thank you, council, and we will proudly display this at City Hall.
Wonderful. Thank you.
George, did you have some pictures, George?
He's the guest photographer tonight.
Yes, he is our guest photographer. You can stay for this one, too. Our next presentation is going to be by Rob Davis and everybody else. Come on up, everybody. I see Chris. And this proclamation is from the Jesus Christ Church of Latter-day Saints.
Mayor, City Council, my privilege tonight. Okay, we'll start over. Madam Mayor, City Council, it's my privilege tonight to come with members from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. We're here tonight to present a proclamation to the city for the same thing, the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. Let me just introduce who we have here. On the far right is Mary Ann Dunn. You probably know in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, we don't have a paid clergy on the local level. Everybody does it. Mary Ann works with what we call the Stake Relief Society, who it's, I think, one of the longest-standing women's organizations in America, and they just do all sorts of service. It'd be way too much if I tried to explain it here. Next to her, Donnie and Susie Simpson. Many, many people here know Donnie and Susie. I know Joe is at American Legion Post 53. Silver Star recipient Don Simpson, and very long-time friend, and they serve with me and Robin Huff over here on the Communications Committee. Chris Formica, most of you know from Just Serve. She is always working with the city, helps out with Hemet Beautiful and I don't know how many other things. And then Brian Dunn, who serves on the our stake, which is the local geographical area. He serves on the High Council, and he's going to present the proclamation this evening. I will hold it.
You got it. I might be too tall for this mic, sorry. just a little information. I'm certainly one of you. I moved here when I was 4 years old and grew up here. Went away to college, came back, and raised my family here, my business. I'm a dentist here in town. We love the Hemet Valley, and we're grateful, of course, to you and all the service you give. Let me just briefly say why we're giving this proclamation as a gift to the city of Hemet. In the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, we believe in following Jesus, but one of the center parts of that belief is that we believe that God has given us the rights and liberties to choose for ourselves our path, kind of a self-determination idea. We become what we want to become, and we, of course, deal with the accountability of that. So this isn't too far off from some of our great declarations, the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. You remember the beginning of the Declaration, and just because I might forget, we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights. We know them, right? Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, okay? Liberties. And these freedoms have created a country, an experiment of 250 years, right? An experiment of freedoms that allow for an environment to what we believe allow God's children the freedom to choose for themselves, okay? This is, of course, a leap of faith back in 1776, or a leap into the dark maybe even, right? The government was a self-government. The sovereignty was placed on the shoulders of the governed, or the people, right? A republic was something pretty new. The Constitution basically says the same thing and basically explains this. It starts with the preamble, we the people, not we the government. We the people, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, protection, general welfare, blessings of liberty, all these things are connected to these individual rights and liberties and give us the ability to choose for ourselves. So, before I just read a little blurb, I'm not going to read the whole proclamation, but just a little blurb, I just wanted to share with you that our church is basically in honor and recognition of this 250-year anniversary. We're going to have a fast, okay? It's going to be on July 5th, and we would invite everybody to do it, and you can do it the way you're comfortable doing it. For us, that means abstaining from 2 meals and giving usually a donation to some charity with money saved, okay? But it's prayer and fast. We're fasting for basically gratitude for this country, the liberties that we've been afforded through these great documents and the principles of the Founding Fathers, right? And of course, also fasting for the success and the proliferation of these liberties and freedoms for the coming generations, right? Let me just read to you the back end. Oh, I have it right here. Sorry. So, just the last little blurb, okay? It says, now therefore, whereas the commemoration of the American 250 provides an opportunity for all citizens to reflect upon our history, honor those who have sacrificed for liberty, and recommit ourselves to building a more united, virtuous nation for future generations. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that we of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints hereby recognize and celebrate the 250th anniversary of the United States of America and encourage all residents to participate in activities that honor our nation's history, service, foster respect and understanding among neighbors, and work together to ensure that the blessings of liberty endure for generations to come. Thank you for your service and all that you do for our community, and God bless America, right?
Thank you. Thank you very much. And we would like all of you to come over here for a photo op. Everybody.
You going up? Are we going up?
Donnie can get away with that. Yeah.
And that proclamation will hang in the library. So thank you very much for the presentation. We really appreciate it. Okay, moving on to public comment. We will, take public comment on items not listed on the agenda. We will take public comment on those on the agenda when we get to those items. City Clerk, are there any registered speakers?
We do have registered speakers. However, before we move to public comment, if we can go ahead and read the wording of Councilmember Lodge participating in tonight's meeting remotely.
Okay.
Okay. Council members, we have a request from Councilmember Lodge to participate remotely under the teleconferencing rules of SB 707. Councilmember Lodge is appearing remotely due to medical reasons, which requires him to participate remotely. We also have one other item we must enter into the record. Councilmember Lodge, can you disclose if there is anyone else in the room with you over the age of 18, and if so, your relationship with that person?
The room is empty. I have it to myself.
Thank you. Mayor, we will need a motion and a second to approve Councilmember Lodge's request to participate remotely under SB 707.
Need a motion?
I will make a motion to accept that.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Please do a roll call.
Councilmember Clark?
Yes.
Councilmember Lodge?
Yes.
Councilmember Peterson?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Males?
Yes.
Mayor Krupa?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And there wasn't anybody on non-agenda items?
Yes, we do have
There is, okay.
speakers, yes.
Please call them.
Our first speaker this evening is Priscilla Grandala.
Please come to the podium.
And our next speaker after Priscilla will be Christian Covey.
Hello, my name is Priscilla Giandalia, and this is Bernice Alvarez, and we are here just to highlight our business here in town and our community. We are from Grocery Outlet. We are both the owners from the east side and on the west side, and we're here just to talk about our business and what we are driving through this summer. Starting tomorrow, we have a food drive that helps our community as a whole. On the west side, we will be having a food donation where we give 5, get 5. You purchase a $5 bag of food, and you get a coupon for your next purchase on your purchase next time. And the bag of food, after we contribute for that month and a half until the end of July, goes into goes to local veterans here in town. American Legion Post 53, Legionnaires, Sons of American Legion, Post 53 Riders, and Post 53 Auxiliary will all will gain from all of this. So we are here just to kind of highlight what's going on in our community and how people like yourselves in our community can help drive that business as well for those people. We can raise some money for them to feed the local veterans here in town. Bernice will have a different vendor going on in her community. That's what's unique about our business as a whole. We are independently owned here in town, so we get to choose who we want to go with. Overall, the company as a whole, Grocery Outlet, has raised over $30 million overall when you look at the company as a whole. Every grocery outlet in its own town raises its own money for those communities. So I just we wanted to highlight what we actually do here in our town. I know we're a small little store here. We've been around for, I want to say, almost 19 years here in Hemet. The West Side's only been here for about 6 years, but we're here still. All the same purpose is to raise money for our community as well and to bring whatever savings we can for our community. Did you want to add anything at all?
No, I'm fairly new.
Can you speak into the microphone, please?
I'm fairly new. I recently took over the store over at East Hemet as of May 12th. I am the new owner there. But also doing the same thing, I'm partnering with Carol's Kitchen, and their address here is in Hemet. It's a Hemet location with the Hemet United Methodist Church. Yeah, like I said, I'm pretty new to this, so I'll cut it short. Thank you, guys.
I just wanted to highlight, to kick this off, this coming up weekend on Sunday, we will have an event at the West Side, 3200 West Side of Florida, from 12 to 3. We're going to have the local veterans actually out. We're going to have the post out, so everyone can meet those people in town. And the local fire department will be out for about an hour just to meet and greet with the kids, and we'll have some hot dogs and ices for the kids.
All right. Thank you very much.
Mayor,
Next speaker.
Linda, Mayor.
Can't really comment on things that are.
It's the 365, Hemet 365.
We'll get with them after. Next speaker, please.
Christian Coley, my apologies.
All right, I gotta go fast. Good evening, my name is Christian Coley. I'm the union president for the Hemet Police Officers Association, and I've been a police officer for 13 years. The reason I'm here tonight is to speak directly to you about the city's financial position and the offer the city has made to the union during our contract negotiations. As of our latest negotiations meeting, the city has offered a 0% economic increase to the HPOA and wants us to essentially agree to a status quo one-year contract. I'm here to tell you just how detrimental that offer is to the city, its citizens, and the union. In 2014, the Hemet Police Department was at an all-time low, with only approximately 60 officers from the chief down. With the department severely understaffed, crime rose. In 2014, we had 10 homicides. In 2015, we had 10 homicides. And in 2016, we had 5 homicides. In 2016, one of the homicide victims was a young Marine named Nicholas Mail, the son of Mayor Pro Tem Mail. He was killed just a few blocks from here. I think we, the citizens, council, and city officials can all agree that although it has not been easy, we have come a long way, and we can never go back to those staffing numbers. Now, I'd like to talk to you about some positive improvements the city and the police department have made over the last few years. Our current staffing is 86 police officers, and we have 7-day coverage in the Traffic and Aero Bureau. These teams directly impact the quality of life of our officers and visitors' experience in the city of Hemet. These positions also create more time for our officers to be on patrol, preventing crime. Here are a few crime statistics that I believe are important. Since 2016, property crime is down 43%, and all violent crimes are down 38%. I think it's safe to say, with your support and our men and women in uniform, we've done an outstanding job, and I believe the citizens and council would agree. Now, what is the cost of a 0% status quo contract? Why would our qualified and experienced officers stay here? Our officers right now can lateral to one of our comparable cities, like Cathedral City, and make 13.5% more, or to Marietta Police Department and make 5% more and do about 90% less of the work. Our detectives and investigators with years of experience can leave right now and make 15 to 29% more at the Riverside County District Attorney's Office, and that's working at home several days a week. What message are we sending to our officers and our citizens when the council approves a 7% increase in council member compensation? What message do we send to our officers and citizens when we budget $100,000 for Christmas decorations? Most importantly, how can we project next year's budget without closing out the 2025 budget yet? I'm going to allow somebody else to speak to finish the rest.
Next speaker is Peter Aguila.
Okay. Good evening. Pedro Aguila, I'm the Secretary of the Union. So just to piggyback off what Christian said, did you know in recently published 2024 Annual Comprehensive Financial Report, and I quote, public safety expenditures were approximately 4.1 million less than final budget appropriations, largely due to savings in vacant positions in both police and fire department. How can you be confident in the city's projections and estimates for this new fiscal year when we have not even finalized the financial reports for this current fiscal year? What would the citizens say about the city freezing all vacant police officer positions for the foreseeable future? July 1st, the Hemet police officers will be 9% out of market in our comparable cities. We'll be ranked number 8 out of 11 in our comparable cities. Officers will leave. If officers leave, they leave the quality of life of the citizens, visitors, and businesses will be directly impacted. If our citizens do not feel safe, they will shop elsewhere, they will eat elsewhere, and they will move elsewhere. The Hemet Police Department has a lot of positive momentum right now, and by freezing police department positions and offering zero compensation this upcoming fiscal year, you are effectively bringing all this positive momentum to a halt. At a minimum, we need to maintain what we have built to this point. But now being 9% out of market and other nearby agencies are offering more pay for less work, we have shifted that momentum into reverse. I ask the council to take what The union has presented to heart, and the POA always has and always will handle our labor negotiations like professionals. That's exactly what you're here seeing tonight. In your time of need, you call us the police. We are in our time of need, so I am calling upon each and every one of you to ask questions and look how these decisions are going to negatively impact the city, its citizens, its visitors, and police officers by approving the city's current position on our contract. Thank you for your time, and be safe.
Thank you very much. Next speaker.
Next speaker, Pauline Gold.
Honorable members of the City Council, I'm here, I'm probably going to stumble through this speech, so I'm going to put my request first. I'm asking this council to immediately direct the city manager and public works engineers to step in, order a full subgrade assessment of this entire lot at Space 40, and issue a direct Title 25 notice of violation to the park owner to force the repair. My name is Pauline Gold. I'm an 82-year-old, low-income resident living at Saddleback Mobile Home Estates, located at 1536 South State Street, Space 40. I'm here tonight because there's an active, concealed, subsurface void measuring 11 feet long, 3 feet wide, 3 feet deep, directly beneath my patio. The confirmed cause of this massive empty space is a year-long park irrigation leak that originated on the north side of the property. This continuous water flow has washed out the subgrade soil beneath my home, meaning additional subgrade unknown voids are to be expected under the structure. This is an imminent threat of ground collapse, property damage, and personal injury to myself and my home at Space 40. I previously brought this life safety hazard to Hemet Code Enforcement on April 14th, 2026. I personally handled an official complaint to Sarah Kelly. The department's response was that they were untrained to locate or address a subsurface void. Because of this failure to act, legal aid backed out, and I am now caught in a dangerous bureaucratic gridlock between the city and state. I'm here tonight to remind this council of the law. Under California Health and Safety Codes, Section 18400.1, the city of Hemet explicitly assumed full local enforcement agency contract duties over our mobile home parks. By taking on this contract, the city legally mandated itself to enforce Title 25 health and safety standards. Claiming to be untrained does not absolve the city of its legal obligations. It is a direct breach of your state mandate. Therefore, these spreading subsurface voids threaten the structure. Furthermore, these spreading subsurface voids threaten the.
Thank you very much. You have copies over here. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Next speaker.
Next speaker is Shaul Rosen Rager.
So,
Microphone on?
on?
Just wait a minute, your mic isn't on.
I think it's on.
It's green?
Green.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm here because there are a couple of things happening at the same time. If you're paying attention to the news, in Los Angeles, right southeast of downtown, an area called Boyle Heights, there is a warehouse fire. This is a refrigerated warehouse. and that fire has been burning for over a week now. Apparently, it's very hard to put it out. They've been using helicopters. Why am I talking about this? Because at the same time, we received a NOP that Hemet is starting the process of a refrigerated warehouse right next to apartments and residential areas. It's called Santa Fe Gateway Project. I will not waste your time telling you all the problems with warehouses, but with recent fires, we're learning that warehouses have, another issue, especially with refrigerated warehouses. And we're asking that we finalize development guidelines for warehouses. It's been a long time, and it's time to do it with input from the community. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Next speaker.
Next speaker is Brian Hawkins.
Okay, good afternoon, Council. So my name is Brian Hawkins. Some of you guys may know who I am. I come here on the behalf of Kokoro Strategy. I'm a strategist, and I'm working with Mr. Simon Chu and his properties. And so the letter that's going on around is kind of like to give an update, because our main focus is, one, putting a roof on the Sharkey building. I've been speaking with the water department, and so I met with them 2 weeks ago. I was waiting for Travis to get back in town this week so he can approve the spot where we can put the backflow in that area. So the goal really is to put a roof on top of Sharkey's. I have been going back and forth with a lot of emails with previous staff that no longer work here, and I'm a today person, not a who was working here before, and my goal is to bring everything to today. And so I've been emailing probably about maybe somewhere in between about 17 to 25 emails over the last 2 weeks, giving a full update between 102 East Florida, 118 North Harvard, which is detailed inside there. One of the things that I'm really just requesting is that City Council or someone can step in and kind of bring this together, have a meeting, because all the information is here where SoCal Gas messed up and put the meter in a month, 2 months after the expiration date. So I'm just asking for an opportunity.
Thank you very much for your comments. Next speaker.
That was our final speaker, Mayor.
That was the last
Thank
one.
you.
All right. Thank you very much for the public comment on these issues. Where am I? We will now move on to public hearings. City Clerk, would you please read the procedures for the public hearing?
City Council's procedures for public hearing will be as follows. Staff will provide a report and clarification of items presented. The public hearing will be open for comments for those in favor of or in opposition to the item, followed by rebuttal to any comments made. The public hearing will be closed, and the city manager may respond to any questions raised by the public. The public will not have an opportunity to respond. Discussion will then be brought back to the City Council for direction or action.
All right, thank you. Can we get a report on number 15A? Go ahead.
There you go. Good evening, Mayor, City Council. Jolene Ferris, Interim Public Works Director. I don't have a PowerPoint for this. This is just a verbal presentation. On May 26, 2026, the City Council approved resolutions initiating proceedings for the annual levy of assessments for the landscape and streetlight maintenance districts, ordered the preparation of the annual engineer's report, and declared its intention to levy and collect fiscal year 26-27 assessments for the landscape and streetlight maintenance districts. Public Works staff, along with finance staff and our assessment district consultant, Harrison Associates, have prepared the necessary budgets for this fiscal year maintenance and set the levies accordingly within the allowable parameters. This item is to conduct a public hearing to take any testimony regarding the fiscal year 26-27 engineer's report and the levy and collection of assessments for the existing landscape and streetlight maintenance districts. Following the public hearing, staff is recommending the approval of the engineer's reports and that the levy and collection of assessments be ordered for these existing maintenance districts. That's all that I have. I'm here to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. I will now open the public hearing. The public hearing is now open. City Clerk, do we have any registered speakers?
No registered speakers for this item, Mayor.
All right, thank you very much. I will now close the public hearing and bring it back to council for questions or a motion.
I will do a motion to accept the resolution approving the engineer's report and levy and collection assessments for existing Hemet Landscape and Street Light Maintenance District for the upcoming fiscal year 26 to 27.
Thank you very much. Is there a second?
I second it.
We have a motion and a second. Please do roll
Mayor?
call. Yes.
Do
you
we
have a
need to
comment?
recuse ourselves if we're in those districts?
Yes.
So you should state your recusals for the specific districts on the record.
I live in Heartland, and I will recuse myself from Heartland District.
I believe staff may have the other ones noted.
I have Mayor Pro Tem Males in LMD number 9 of the original districts. I have the mayor in LMD 19 of the original districts, and also Councilmember Lodge is in LMD 19 of the original.
And I'll recuse myself from that district.
I will recuse from District 19.
I also will recuse myself from District 19.
I will enter those recusals into the record. Thank you, Mayor.
I'm still here.
All right, so how do we determine who gets to vote on which, or can
So-
we vote on all of
So
them?
you can vote on all of them, and we'll simply note the recusals as to those specific districts in the record.
All right, thank you. Please do a roll call.
Councilmember Clark?
Yes.
Councilmember Lodge?
Yes.
Councilmember Peterson?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Males?
Yes.
Mayor Krupa?
Yes, that item passes unanimously. Moving on to item 15B, our next public hearing. Can we get a presentation, please?
Good evening. Tiffany Barnett, Administrative Services Director. This item before you this evening concerns the collection of delinquent residential solid waste handling fees incurred during the calendar year 2025. Under the Second Amendment to the exclusive franchise agreement with CR&R, residential refuse service cannot be discontinued due to non-payment. As a result, when accounts become delinquent and remain unpaid for more than 120 days after the initial billing date, CR&R is authorized to initiate the process of placing those delinquent charges on the property tax roll, consistent with California Government Code Sections 38790.1 and 25831, Chapter 62 of the Hemet Municipal Code in terms of the franchise agreement. CR&R has submitted its preliminary annual report identifying delinquent accounts totaling $794,207.54. In accordance with legal requirements, CR&R mailed notices to this public hearing to all affected property owners on June 9th, 2026, advising them of their opportunity to appear before City Council and present any objections or protests regarding the proposed assessments. Following tonight's hearing, staff and CR&R will continue to process payments and address any account discrepancies through July 24th, 2026. Any necessary revisions or corrections to the report may be incorporated before the final assessment roll is submitted to Riverside County. Upon confirmation by City Council, the delinquent fees will become special assessments against the respective parcels and will constitute liens against the properties until paid. A certified copy of the confirmed report will be transmitted to the Riverside County Auditor for placement on property tax rolls. This item does not establish any new rates or fees, rather provides a mechanism authorized by state law and the city's franchise agreement to collect previously incurred and unpaid solid waste handling charges. Staff recommends to open the public hearing and receive testimony and adopt Resolution 2026-103, affirming the annual report of calendar year 2025 delinquent solid waste handling fees and authorizing levy of said fees as special assessments on the Riverside County property tax roll.
Thank you very much for the presentation. I will now open, open the public hearing. City Clerk, do we have any registered speakers?
We do have one speaker.
All right.
Rosendo Alvarez? Not present, Mayor.
Pardon?
He's not present.
He's not present? Okay. Is there anyone else that would like to speak? You can go to the microphone and fill out fill out a card. Either one, whichever one you want to do first. Just take the form with you. and go, go do your speaking and then bring that back to the city clerk. This lady in front also wants one.
All right, good evening. So I just received this letter that she spoke about, June 9th, mailed out, and this was my first notification of the collection account. So I've never received a late payment. I have an account that makes regular scheduled payments every month, but this was the first time that said there's a collection and it's going into collections. So I'm a bit confused on how I got that far without an initial notification.
Okay, is CRNR representative here? Please come up.
Do I stay? Do I go? Okay.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, City Council, and City Staff. I'm Barbara Jimenez with CRNR, and I'm here to assist in any way I can with questions or concerns or discrepancies. In your case, I can help you aside. We can figure out what's going on, because I don't know what happened with your case, because I don't have anything in front of me, but we can definitely address it.
So I don't need it.
Yeah, no, we can take care of it afterwards.
If we could remove that lady's bill from this list so that we can still approve it tonight. We'll get to that point. I believe we have one more speaker on this issue. Do we have, would it be more convenient to just give her a handheld? It would be. The microphone is right there.
Hello. I'm Patricia LG. I have a house in Hemet on Amberwood Drive. And when I moved in 3 years ago, the barrels were stolen. CR&R said that I have to pay $280 for 3 more barrels that I didn't have. And essentially $40 a month for trash. I am very low income. I now have to sell my house because my income doesn't even cover the mortgage. And I have never used CR&R. I cannot recall due process where I lost my right to choose, but CR&R has been sending me threatening notices and harassment that I've got to pay a bill for services not rendered. I think they're ridiculous, they're bullies, they're dishonest, and I do not think that my tax on my house should be liened for services not rendered. And I want you to throw out, they said they can charge me anyway, even if I don't use their services, because the city gave them permission to pick up everybody's trash. Well, they also gave the power company permission to sell gas. Again, I couldn't afford gas. My gas water heater didn't work, so I threw it out. I do have gas furnace, but I'm from Maine, and when a winter is only 40 degrees, trust me, you don't need a furnace. So I had my gas turned off, and they never told me that I had to pay for gas anyway, even if I don't use it. But CR&R thinks that they have a right to charge people for services not rendered. And this is wrong, it's illegal. I mean, we started the meeting talking about inalienable rights and the right to choose, and I do not choose CR&R. I have a hard time cleaning my house. My daughter comes once a month, and I sweep the middle of the floor. She sweeps well, she damp mops, and she takes my trash with her, so I don't have trash. And that's only that she takes one grocery bag, the little plastic ones, and CR once a month. And so that's like $40. It costs me more to throw out a bag of trash with CR&R than it does to fill it up at the grocery store.
All right, thank you for your comments. Barbara, would you speak with her offline? Thank you. And we will remove both of these from the list that is going to be turned in for approval. Are there any other speakers?
No more speakers.
All right. Then bring it back for discussion with council.
Mayor, I just wanted to make sure we had their addresses on the record.
Just write it, please write it down on
Right
the sheet of paper.
Did we get yours written on the paper?
Yeah.
Okay, great, thanks.
Thank you, Elodie.
Question.
All right. Questions from council?
Yeah, I have a question. Are we seeing an increase in delinquencies? I can't even talk right now. Due to affordability, are we seeing more customers that are unable to afford their payments? And is there any assistance programs available for seniors or low-income residents? Who's mic?
Oh, there we go. So we really haven't. I mean, every year, these kinds of questions do come up. We do have programs for low-volume trash for a smaller container, the 60-gallon versus the 90-gallon. We do offer that. So without knowing the background on these situations, I really can't speak on exactly what is happening with them, but we really haven't seen that this year, so.
Will you be reaching out to this
Yes,
lady?
well, I'm going to, I'll follow you up and I'll get your information so we can call you. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other
I have a
questions?
question. Yeah, I have one.
Okay, go ahead.
On the delinquent accounts, is there any way to find out how many of these are property management companies and how many are just individuals? Barbara?
So did you say property management companies? Yes. So usually the case for most of our delinquents are landowners that own the land, the houses, and then they're renting them, and they're assuming that the renters are paying, and the renters are assuming that the landowners are paying. So in this case, we don't really have that broken down like in front of me. I'm sure we can get it. We can find out how many are renters and who are owners, but I don't have that information in front of me tonight.
I was just curious when I read that report, so if you can come up with it, it'd be great. I'd appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any other
Thank
questions
you.
or comments? Go ahead.
One more. I also noticed an account exceeding 5,200 and a few exceeding 1,000. How does it get up so high? I mean, are these businesses that we're talking
No,
about?
these are just all residential. Commercial, we can actually, if they stop paying, we don't have to continue servicing, but residential, we have to continue servicing regardless if they pay.
Wow, that's a high amount of.
Yeah, I'm not sure, because usually if it goes over a year, it rolls every year. Some people pay their taxes that way. They pay their trash service through the tax roll. They prefer it that way. I don't know why, but that's a very high number that you're seeing.
Yeah.
I didn't see that on my end, so it's usually around $592 for the year. Is usually what the average amount is.
Okay, thank you.
So as a follow-up question to that, we have talked before about going from a monthly fee for trash collection to putting a year on the tax bill on the property owners. And I know that is done in other cities. And I think some further information that we might need is that how many of these really high dollar ones, they can't be rolled over from last year because that one would have already gone on the tax roll.
Correct. That's why I'm interested to see why that you saw those high amounts. It really shouldn't be that. So I don't know if that was somehow mixed in with some commercial accounts, but
Could be.
yeah, we can look into
And
it.
there's some that exceed 1,000 also.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
it shouldn't.
All right. Well, we'll pull those two items from the two people that spoke tonight, pull it off. And then at some later date, I would like to bring this back to council when we get all of this other information and have a conversation at that time of whether we continue with the quarterly billing or with whether we put it on the tax, on your property tax bill. So in the meantime, if there's no further questions or comments, I'd entertain a motion.
I will make a motion to pass the resolution confirming the annual report of calendar year 2025 delinquent solid waste handling fees, and authorizing the level of said fees as a special assessment on the Riverside County property tax roll billing, excluding the two that are of concern tonight.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I second that.
We got a lot of seconds on that one. All right, there's a motion and, are we okay?
Did we close the public hearing, Mayor? I'm sorry.
Pardon?
Did we close the public hearing?
Oh, did I? I think I did. Anyway.
My apologies.
Public hearing is closed.
I did
All
want
right,
to add,
just in
I did
case
want to add
Thank
one
you.
quick thing, is that this is just a preliminary list. Payments are going to be accepted, and the list will be revised up until the end of July. So once all of those payments have been in, there's been more contact and work going through it, that list will revise.
All right, thank you very much, Tiffany. All right, we have a motion and a second. Please do a roll call.
Councilmember Clark?
Yes.
Councilmember Lodge? Councilmember Lodge?
Yes.
Councilmember
Hello,
Peterson? Yes, hello?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Males?
Yes.
Mayor Krupa?
Yes. That item passes unanimously. Moving on to 15C. Could we have a presentation on 15C?
Good evening, Mayor, members of the City Council. I'm Monique Alanis Flater, Community Development Director. This public hearing before you is a TEFRA public hearing. The hearing is in alignment with the strategic plan integration of quality of life, community engagement, partnership and collaboration, organizational effectiveness. The purpose of this public hearing is to conduct a Tax Equity and Fiscal Responsibility Act hearing in consideration of the issuance of tax-exempt bond financing by the California Statewide Communities Development Authority for Hemet PV Partners LP to provide financing for construction improvement and equipment of a 109-unit multifamily rental housing project, generally known as Palm Villas at State Apartments. This is in compliance with the Tax Equity Fiscal Responsibility Act under Section 147F of the Internal Revenue Code. Prior council action, after extensive public engagement on March 12th, 2024, the City Council authorized the submission of a joint application to the Department of Housing and Community Development for Affordable Housing and Sustainable Communities Program Fund to fund affordable housing for Palm communities, sustainable transportation infrastructure, and related project transportation amenities. The community benefits include $70 million in new housing development capital investment, improved connectivity within our downtown through transportation and bikeway corridors. Prior council action, on October 8th, 2024, the council adopted a resolution to authorize participation in the A6 program and acceptance of the program award. That was later amended on June 24th, 2025, to accept the program award as amended. The project site is Palm Villas at State, located at the northwest corner of State Street and Menlo Avenue, also known as 761 and 7085 North State Street, 160, 260, and 320 West Menlo Avenue. The affordable housing project has received entitlements from the Planning Commission, including the original submittal of, or original approval on February 20th, 2024 an extension of time to allow for the financing component, as well as future expansion plans that was recently approved in April for additional units. Hemet PV Partners LC, the borrowers, has requested that the California Statewide Community Development Authority, CSCDA, serve as the municipal issuer of tax-exempt multifamily housing revenue bonds in aggregate principal amount not to exceed $25 million. The CSCDA is a joint powers authority sponsored by the League of California Cities and the California State Association of Counties. The proceeds of the bonds used for the purpose of making a loan to the borrower to enable the borrower to finance the acquisition, construction, and improvement and equipment or equipping of 109 affordable multifamily resident rental housing projects located on the project site, which will be owned and operated by the borrower. The borrower will substantially rehabilitate the project with the proceeds of the bond. The affordability of the project will extend 55 additional years for the closing of the financing. Additionally, on May 12th, 2026, the project received an award of private activity bond allocation from the California Debt Limit Allocation Committee. In accordance with the Tax Equity and Fiscal Responsibilities Act, for the bonds of issuance of Palm Villas, to qualify as tax-exempt bonds, the City of Hemet must conduct a public hearing, providing the members of the community an opportunity to speak in favor or against the use of tax-exempt bonds for the financing of the project. There is no fiscal impact to the city to adopt the resolution. Bonds will be issued as limited obligations of California Statewide Communities Development Authority, payable solely from revenues and receipts derived from a loan to be made by CSCDA to the borrower with the bond proceeds. The city bears no responsibility with respect to the issuance of the bond. The city is not party to any of the financing documents related to the bond issuance and is not named in any of the disclosure documents. This hearing was noticed in the Press Enterprise in accordance with the TEFRA regulations on June 16th, 2026. It is respectfully recommended that the City Council open the public hearing and take testimony, if any, and adopt Resolution 2026-109 of the City Council of the City of Hemet, California, approving the issuance by the California Statewide Communities Development Authority of exempt facility bonds for a qualified residential rental project for Palm Villas at State. Charles Cohen, a representative of Palm Communities, is available virtually to respond to questions on behalf of the developer. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the presentation. I will now open the public hearing. City Clerk, do we have any speakers in favor or against this item?
We do not have any speakers.
Is there anyone, would the developer like to speak on this issue? Is he on the line?
Hear me?
Can you speak a little louder?
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Is that better?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes. Hi, this is Charles Cohen. I'm the project manager with Palm Communities, and yeah, I don't know if there's any specific questions, and didn't sound like it, but we're just excited to get going with this project. We are looking to start construction in November, and the project should be completed in September of 2028.
That's amazing, because that is the question that I was going to ask, because we have had this before us for a long time, and it's an exciting project. And also with the improvements then to Palm and the RCTC right-of-way that the city is licensed to do, and also the downtown mobility hub. We're all connected into this one great big project. So thank you for that timeline, and it's really appreciated, and it's a project that the city of Hemet has wanted for a long time, so appreciate that. Any questions that pertain to the public hearing from, okay, Joe?
Will any of the units be targeted for formerly homeless individuals, veterans, seniors, or persons with disabilities?
So it's for folks that are at risk of homelessness.
Can you restate your question?
What's that?
Well, restate your question.
Okay, will any units be targeted for formerly homeless individuals, veterans, seniors with disabilities?
So it's going to be targeting folks that are at risk of homelessness. So I'm not sure the specifics, but it could be that they've received an eviction notice or are having trouble making payments in their rent. So it'll come off the, I believe, the city's wait list for at risk. That's my understanding.
Okay, because I know a lot of the people that are coming off the streets, they're putting them in homes that are temporary until they can find them permanent housing. This sounds more like permanent housing. Wouldn't we want them to go in temporary homes first in order to make sure that this is something that they're going to want, or?
Can you answer that question? This is permanent housing, and
Yeah.
there.
But he just said that they were going to take people that are
So
off the
let
street.
me specify that that's for just 28 of the units at the project. The rest of the units will be for folks earning between 30 and 60% AMI. So it will be for low income folks, but only 28 of the units would be for folks that are at
Okay.
risk of
I thought
homelessness.
all the units were, okay, so 20 of them, okay.
28.
28, okay.
All right,
Mayor?
thank you. Any other questions?
Well, I think it's important, Joe, to realize that these are going to be housed from all kinds of people from different locations. Hemet does not get priority. HUD does not allow that. And that was some of our questions at Planning Commission, because
Will we have a certain percentage of Hemet residents?
no. HUD requires, so if somebody gets wind of it over in LA and they get on the list, then it is the qualification and the first come, first
For the
qualified,
28 units only,
for all of them.
for all of them.
Mayor Pro Tem, maybe I can address that. It's a fair housing law issue. That's why it comes up. But what I can tell you is that the city and the developer can certainly engage in significant outreach to the residents in the city of Hemet and ensure that everyone has ample notice that this is happening. And my experience in other jurisdictions, and this one that have done this, is when you have that active outreach in the city of Hemet, you'll find that most of the units go to residents because the need is here.
Yes,
We just
it
have
is.
to make sure that people know about it.
And are we going to perform that and get that out to the residents or the people in Hemet?
If that's the council's
And where would
direction,
that come from, city manager, or?
that would be something you'd want to give direction to the city manager on, and then they can bring it forward if the cost is low enough, they can handle it themselves.
I'd like to make sure we get a handle on it before they're built, or they're complete. Make sure we get a notice out there for
Yeah.
local residents.
That's why I brought it up, because
We could
have
do
to
that.
get
The
outreach.
last affordable housing projects we've done, last one I think was Greystone, and before that Sahara and Oasis, and majority of those people are local residents that went into affordable housing.
Yeah.
Because
We
two of
need
the
to get it
projects were
out.
senior housing, and one is affordable housing that, on North Buena Vista.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Okay, with that, I will close the public hearing. And council, what is your pleasure?
I vote that we adopt resolution 2026-109 for the city council, city of Hemet, to approve the community development quality residential and retail project, Palm Villa at State.
Very good. Is there a second? We have a motion and a second. Please do a roll call.
Councilmember Clark?
Yes.
Councilmember Lodge?
Yes.
Councilmember Peterson?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Males?
Yes.
Mayor Krupa?
Yes. That motion passes unanimously. Thank you for the presentation, and we will be looking forward to the groundbreaking for that project.
Yes.
Turn myself off. Are there any questions or comments from the council on the City of Hemet warrants, registers, periodic payroll payments, or the specialized equipment use policy?
I do. Do you?
Please pull the one you want to talk about.
Okay. So the Amazon, there was a pretty large amount of Amazon purchases. Is this an end of the year using their budget up?
You know, I don't know if that is the situation or if there are certain items that are critical to the department's need at this point in time. Do you have anything specific that you're looking at that we can research?
Well, we have a blanket PO of $3,211. We have another blanket PO of $3,360, miscellaneous department supplies of $2,300, blanket PO for Amazon purchase of $1,000. And I look at all these things and I've asked, and there are a lot of staplers that we purchase, okay? And I'm just concerned, we are not in a position to allow those kind of purchases to happen in a month unless we really know what it is. So I'm just concerned. I really, really am concerned.
Yeah, each department, they do have their own blanket purchase order for a certain amount that is part of their operating budget for supplies. So that's why there are several different blanket purchase orders. But as far, as long as I have been here, there's never been centralized purchasing, which would be much more in control of what is happening. It's been where the departments kind of oversees what they need.
Well, can we get,
How much would centralized purchasing, cause a hassle?
Repeat that, I'm sorry.
But if we went to centralized purchasing, wouldn't it be, one, much more transparent, and two, wouldn't that be easier on everybody?
I don't know if it would be easier per se, because it would be one person or a department would have to be formed to do the purchasing for the entire city. Right now, it's just kind of each department has their own designated staff member that does the purchasing. It is something that can be looked into. Noah?
Yeah, I'd just like to add that currently the departments each have their own specific supplies budget, and so we would need to almost like create another internal fund that they would all pay into, and then someone would have to keep an inventory, and as departments came to get those supplies, then we'd have to, determine what they took, and so there would definitely be some, I think, additional staff time required to do it that way.
All right, it was just a thought.
well, if coffee, for instance, is purchased once a month, could maybe Brenda once a month corral a coffee purchase? I don't know how many sticky notes we need, but we purchase a lot of them. And sometimes they're neon, not just yellow. So, and staplers, I've got to tell you, how many staplers? It's just, I know it's picky, but that is 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, almost 10 grand, if not over 10 grand that we purchased at Amazon. And were any of those things able to be purchased through our Staples store in Hemet so that we could maybe recoup some of those? That's a lot of money for 1 month. So that's my 2 cents.
I understand where you're coming from, because if we're using something in bulk, like paper, pens, Post-its. We don't need the fluorescent Post-its. We need just standard Post-its. You know, we bought them in bulk. And if somebody just oversaw that, and then when people needed paper, they can just go and pick paper and they write it off. Here's, you know, a case of paper. But, you know, having different departments purchasing and just from wherever, I mean, it does cost, you know, but if we just centralized it and used our procurement person to oversee that and purchase it, it'd be a lot cheaper on us.
I mean, how many reams of paper do we go through a month with every department? I'm sure it's pallet loads. So, you know, every department getting their own shipment of paper is kind of ridiculous.
Okay, I don't think there's any answers for that this evening,
Yeah,
so
something to think about.
I do wanna make
it is
one-
something to think about, and it is something that maybe we will discuss and bring back on an agenda item so that we can have specifics on how the different departments operate and go from there.
Sounds good.
I can make one note. I did look up the biggest one, the $3,000, and it was all book purchases for the library. So keep in mind that Amazon, that Kathy at the library utilizes Amazon for book purchases. So that's probably what those higher dollar ones are book purchases from the DIF.
No more books. No, I'm just-
Well, you just can't tell on this.
Right, the descriptions default from the purchase order, so we can definitely work on updating descriptions on the purchase orders.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions or comments on the receive and file items?
I have a question on 16B.
Is the chief here?
Actually, it's Lieutenant.
Okay.
We're on 16, or, oh, 8, yeah, I was thinking 18. Okay.
I'm getting to it finally. I'm looking for this. Hang on one quick second. Okay, got it. Okay, so on page 26, you have an Eagle trailer that is surplus as of April 2025. Then on page 73, you have fiscal impact and estimated project costs, and you have the Eagle trailer on there for an approximate annual cost of $1,000. So if it's surplus, why is it still on the rolls, and why is it still costing us money?
Good evening. So the trailer was surplus in 2025, and since it was still utilized in 2025, we had to include that in the report. So for the next report next year in 2026, that trailer will no longer be on there, and that cost will be removed.
Okay, so you're just catching up from the year before?
Correct, because it was items that we had from 2025.
Okay, because it just looked like it was a conflicting thing, so. Thank you.
All right, any other questions or comments on these items? Tom, did you have something?
No, just, that was a good idea, I think.
All right, with that, this is a receive and file. It's received and filed. Thank you so much. Moving on, moving on to the consent calendar. All items will be acted simultaneously unless pulled by a member of the council for separate consideration. Do we have any items to be pulled?
17B, 17D, 17G, 17N, and that's it for me.
17I for me.
Hold on here.
All right, any other ones that anyone wants to pull?
No, you're pulling everything for me.
Yeah.
Connie?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay, then I would entertain a motion to approve 17A, C, E, F, H, J, K, L. Wow, we got a whole page there. M. That's it. Those items. I have a motion to approve those.
Wait, what's?
I second.
17H, I thought I pulled. I didn't
Nope.
say it? Okay,
Nope.
I'm pulling 17H also.
Okay.
I will make a motion to pass the remaining items.
I'll second it.
All right. Could we have a roll call on the remaining items?
Councilmember Clark?
Yes.
Councilmember Lodge?
Yes.
Councilmember Peterson?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Males?
Yes.
Mayor Krupa?
Yes. That passes. Those pass unanimously. Moving to the ones that are pulled. 17B.
Okay, I have questions on the qualified applicants. We have three, Tina Warpington, Hemet resident, who lives in Val Vista, Ramon Amado, District 2 resident, and George Schaefer, District 1 resident. Now, our current library board is composed of four others: Larry Butler, District 4, Gail Peterson, District 3, Jennifer Reyes, District 4, Noah Seaton, District 3. My question is, why are we pulling in a sphere of influence instead of pulling someone from District 1 or 2, since we don't have a 1 or 2 on this board? And why is Mr. Lodge picking this person when he has 2 already on the board?
Well, I was asked to pick this person, or pick a person. That's why I picked her. And from the sphere of influence, we have a greater community out there than just our districts.
I know, but that doesn't make sense to me, why you were asked to pick when you already have 2 people from your district on that board.
Then Joe, I will go out and you can go ahead and pick. You know,
I can answer that question, and it is because each council member appoints one person to each seat of commissions and board of trustees in the city of Hemet. And this opening, when the person was vacating that position, that was Joe's appointment from last time. Or not Joe, you're not Joe. Tom's appointment. So that's why it was him, up for him. He did not select the 2 that are in District 3.
But I thought we were trying to even everything out and have, one from each district.
Not necessarily.
That's what we talked about before in the past. That's what we chose these people on, and that's why the person that doesn't have someone that's from their district got to pick the person. Like I said, I have 2 already on that board. He has 2 already. So these 2 don't have any.
Well,
So they should be the ones that are picking.
Except that it is Tom's choice, and he picked somebody from the sphere of influence to fill the position that
Doesn't make
was
sense, though,
sphere of
because
influence.
We've always went by districts, and then the sphere of influence.
No, we don't.
Yes, well.
Well, let's put it this way. I appointed Larry Butler. Larry does not live in my district, but he was the best possible candidate when we interviewed for that position. So you always pick the best person. It doesn't have to be somebody from your district. And obviously, Tom picked this Tina because she was the best pick, and she is in the sphere of influence.
Well, we try to annex here, and people from the sphere of influence didn't want to be a part of the city, but we take people that are a part of the city that want to be on this committee, and we don't allow them to be on it. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Your opinion is noted. Do we have a motion on 17B?
I make a motion, we pass it.
Thank you, Tom.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and second on 17B. Please do a roll call.
Councilmember Clark?
Yes.
Councilmember Lodge?
Yes.
Councilmember Peterson?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Males?
No.
Mayor Krupa?
Yes. That motion passes 4-1. Moving on to 17D. Joe, I believe that's you again.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Council and City staff. How can I answer your questions for you tonight?
I pulled this because I wanted to make a statement. I wanted to show how well our police are performing. And because I'm against freezing positions, to be honest with you. According to the police department, increased DUI enforcement, additional staffing in the traffic unit has resulted in more DUI investigations and more blood alcohol and drug testing. Why we're having to up the cost for this toxicology service. Hold on, let me find my notes. Okay, so the service and the biotox provide DUI investigations, narcotics cases, blood alcohol analysis, drug analysis, evidence specimens needed for criminal prosecution. Why the sole source is because they're California, they have California Title 17 certification, accreditation by the American Board of Forensic Toxicology, and established history of providing reliable court defensible results for Hemet PD. We're going from 60,000 to a proposed 75,000 cap, which increases the cost for this service by $15,000, where we shouldn't be spending any excess money, but we are on this. Because what's happening here, by having more police, having more two aero teams working 24/7, we have more arrests and more homeless that are taken off the streets. So I just want everyone to know that the cost for what we're doing here is because of the job that our police are doing in keeping the homeless in check, keeping them, helping them out and getting them off the streets. Our aero team removes encampments and gets the homeless out of areas of businesses and the parks. And while I support our officers and the importance of a successful prosecution, staff can provide the number of tests performed when this contract was approved in September 2025 compared with today, so we can better understand the increase. So what we're doing here is we're going to pay more, but get better results and more results from what they're doing. Like Officer Coley mentioned earlier, this town was a crap hole back in 10 years ago. We didn't have our police, what we should have had using Measure U. We had complaints from everyone. I lost a son due to not having a police force that should have been fully staffed but wasn't. I don't want to go backwards in life. I want to go forward. And I just want to let the police know that you're doing a great job. This proves it here by the cost going up on this toxicology service and you picking up more people off the streets and either them going to jail or them getting help. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Any other questions or comments on this item? Entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve 17D.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second on 17D. Please do roll call.
Councilmember Clark?
Yes.
Councilmember Lodge?
Yes.
Councilmember Peterson?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Males?
Yes.
Mayor Krupa?
Yes. Moving on to item 17G.
Okay. I'm just trying to figure out why we're buying pipe for our sewers from Orange County when we have two warehouses out here in Hemet, one that just opened a couple years ago, and then the one on State, I'm not sure the name of it. And I think Noah and I spoke about that. And I know the Orange County one's a wholesale company, but is there any way to, inquire with these two warehouses just to see if we can get competitive deals? I
think, we use Planet Bids for these types of purchases, and so in the future, I think we can probably reach out to any of the local vendors, even though they may not typically do wholesale, like you said, maybe they'll offer, a better deal.
That's what I'm thinking.
But just to make sure that they know and they can sign up and place their bid through Planet Bids, which is what we use. But we can certainly reach out to them directly and make sure that they're aware that we have this bid posted
Yeah, that would be
in the
nice
future.
if we reached out to them and sent something. That way, because a lot of companies, are bigger companies, they might just like to purchase in bulk so they can keep, the warehouse full and then sell it to you at wholesale price afterwards, because they get it wholesale. And maybe, I don't know, just, it's something we can ask.
Mayor,
All right.
I do, well, not necessarily questions. I know John Worth, when we approved the pipe, two places, one over behind where Hemet main office, high school or unified school. Anyways, John Worth even said, well, that's great to know that's there because that's much better to have it local than going out. So I support that 100%.
Yeah. I'm just looking for cost cutting, things.
And we should shop local, so.
Repeat that, Tom?
I said we should shop local whenever possible.
Yes, and I'm sure we do.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments on this? Entertain a motion to approve or deny?
Yes, let's approve 17G.
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second on 17G. Please do a roll call.
Councilmember Clark?
Yes.
Councilmember Lodge?
Yes.
Councilmember Peterson?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Males?
Yes.
Mayor Krupa?
Yes. Moving on, 17H. That's yours again, Joe.
Okay, so 17H. I just wanted to ask Noah, we discussed this, the discrepancies in the files. Did that get fixed?
There was a memo that was sent out that fixed that discrepancy earlier this afternoon.
Okay, great, thank you. Then I'm good with this. We can go
Okay,
ahead and
make a motion.
make a motion to pass, please.
We have a motion on 17H. Is there a second?
I'll
Yes.
second it.
Okay, motion and a second. Please do roll call.
Councilmember Clark?
Yes.
Councilmember Lodge?
Yes.
Councilmember Peterson?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Males?
Yes.
Mayor Krupa?
Yes. Moving on, 17I. Jackie, this is yours.
Okay. On the second page, under background, the CFD number 2005-1 for Public Safety Services, I noticed Trace Cerritos was in there because that's in my district, just down the road from me. And I don't believe that they should be assessed at this time as they're not fully entitled. So I think we need to remove them.
Yes, I did confirm through our CFD our assessment district consultant, that they are not being assessed. That's the Trace Cerritos. And so they wouldn't be assessed until they've actually started or constructed and they had to have homes sold. So just to clarify, that is not being assessed.
Okay. With that, I would move to approve it.
Is there a
I'll
second?
second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Please do roll call.
Councilmember Clark?
Yes.
Councilmember Lodge?
Yes.
Councilmember Peterson?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Males?
Yes.
Mayor Krupa?
Yes, that passes unanimously. Moving on, 17N. Joe, that I believe is yours.
Okay. I believe that LCW has been our negotiators ever since I was here in 2020. Is that correct? For,
I'll have HR come and answer that.
okay.
Good evening. Yes, LCW has been assisting the city since I believe it was 2019. And I did find out that it was not competitively bid at that time. So it was just at that point in time, there wasn't the competitive bidding process. It was more, professional services was solicited and negotiated. So,
Okay. I see that they're raising their contingency or whatever they get from us to 325,000.
it's their not to exceed amount for, yes.
Is there any way that we can send it out for bid and try to get someone else? Ever since we've worked with them, I know there's been problems, and I would just feel better if there was, if we,
At this point in time, these are for services already rendered. So we would have to pay what has already been received and invoiced. And that's what part of that amount is for outstanding invoices. And we have projected what is moving forward to cover all of that cost, as well as legal fees.
once they're paid, can we put out a
Yeah.
bid for someone else?
Yeah, that's absolutely something that can be looked into.
Yeah, because everybody has been very dissatisfied, and they've been here with us since 2019. I say it's time we move on, or at least pay for what they've done and start taking bids, because the people that I've spoken with about negotiations, it's just not been.
I don't know how that would work since we're in an active negotiation process.
They can finish out this year, but I don't want them to start anything for next. It's time to move on.
Let's put out competitive bids after this cycle, and we'll see what's out there.
Okay.
All right, I
Going out
don't
to bid
see a problem with
is a
it.
good idea.
You know,
Any questions or comments on this item?
So I guess we'll.
Entertain a
move-
motion?
Yeah, move to continue with compensation not to exceed $325,000 for this fiscal year, and, but not to allow them to continue into any other,
We get another bidding.
until we have bidding.
until we get complete bids.
Say that again, Tom?
Until we get complete bids.
Well, when we go out to bid, we usually get quite a few, and then top three come to council for determination.
Correct. Yeah.
Stevens Firm opens another department for litigation.
Quite happy with the services we provide, but we can certainly assist in helping make sure that you get qualified, specialized legal counsel bidded.
I would just clarify that that would be for professional services, a request for proposals, and it would be, cost would be maybe a component, but it wouldn't be the only component in evaluating those.
Right. And to be clear, just a question, is it an additional 367,000 in addition to the 325, or is it the increase between the two?
It's a total, so
It's
it
the
is,
total.
it's just the increase.
So instead of paying 325, we're going to pay 367.
Correct.
Thank you. All right.
Okay. Done.
Do we have a motion?
Connie did.
Connie made the motion?
Yes, I did.
Oh, you
I'll
s-
second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Please do a roll call.
Councilmember Clark?
Yes.
Councilmember Lodge?
Yes.
Councilmember Peterson?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Males?
Yes.
Mayor Krupa?
Yes. All right, moving on to discussion action items. Can we have a report from staff on the discussion item 18A, which is consideration of city council, outside boards, committees, and commissions, and ad hoc committees?
Not too much of a presentation on this one. Brought this forward. There is, it shows the recent change, spoke at the end of the last meeting between the Hemet Theater and the Stock Farm ad hocs between you, Mayor, and Councilmember Lodge. And I think this would be a good time for the council to review all of these, see which ones are still needed. I think there may be some that are no longer needed. We could definitely define some of the focus of the scope of some of these, and then also if there's any standing committees, we need to recognize that those would be required to follow the Brown Act.
Yes, and this partially came to light because of some research that I was doing and rediscovering the legal aspect of difference between an ad hoc committee and a standing committee. And we have several on here that are not ad hocs that need to be changed to standing committees if we want to keep them. And I'm going to turn it back to legal for a fair explanation of the difference between an ad hoc committee and a standing committee.
Thank you, Mayor. So the principal difference between a standing committee and an ad hoc committee is whether the committee has continuing subject matter jurisdiction over a particular issue. So I think the arts committee might be a good example.
Yes.
So when initially formed, my understanding is that it was formed for the purpose of developing the city's art and public places ordinance. So that's an ad hoc item. It's a single discrete task. You go, you do it, you bring the report back, and you're done. Whereas if you wanted to, for example, have a continuing jurisdiction over art projects generally, so reviewing them, making recommendations going forward, you may want to convert that into a standing committee. I hope that illustrates the point. If there's any particular questions, happy to answer them.
Yes, I have a few. And I agree with that one. The art and culture needs to be a standing committee because we have talked and researched many different areas besides the ordinance for arts and culture, which has been completed. So the Caltrans liaison ad hoc, since, and this is going to ask for legal opinion, since we meet quarterly and the central aim is Florida Avenue and Highway 79, which are Caltrans jurisdiction, but there's different issues that we bring up each time, would that be considered a standing committee or an ad hoc?
So do you meet every quarter? And you
For the most part, not for necessarily.
So my recommendation is if you have a regular meeting schedule and you have a set subject matter jurisdiction, which is any issue related to Florida, I'd recommend that, conservatively, you approach that as a standing committee.
Okay, but there have been many times we have missed these things. We try to calendar it on a quarterly basis because we do have many issues with Caltrans. You want to weigh in on that?
Yeah, there often is, coordination and timing, issues where Caltrans needs to reschedule or the city needs to reschedule. And so it has been definitely not happening every quarter, but it is intended to have a regular meeting so that we can discuss issues related to Caltrans jurisdiction.
So, that being said, this isn't black or white, Mayor. And so, what you're describing is probably the exact kind of one where it could go either way. And it really depends on what your intent is as a council. Do you want this to simply be when an issue comes up, you guys are the two that go meet and deal with it? Or do you want this to be a regular standing issue where you have that regular schedule and you're constantly meeting about it?
My personal opinion, and I will get comment from both Jackie and Noah, since you're both on that with us, is that it's usually when something major comes up and we need to have a conversation with Caltrans. Although it's nice to have, but we schedule it based on availability of both Caltrans staff, city staff, and Jackie and I.
Then my recommendation would be to eliminate the regular quarterly concept and simply have this ad hoc committee meet as needed when issues arise and schedules permit.
That would be agreeable.
I think that works.
Okay, now let's go down the list. The Hemet Stock Farm is definitely an ad hoc that will be disbanded when decisions are fully made on the stock farm. Going down. Business outreach ad hoc, you guys meet regularly and discuss all sorts of issues. So that
No.
basically is,
No.
one says yes, one says no.
Well, we have certain things that come up, but it's not a regular scheduled meeting like, on the first Monday of every month. They're pretty much as needed. And then we work with the Chamber of Commerce and the business walks and all that kind of stuff. So, like, for example, tonight we have the restaurant grant. So we had a meeting for that. So they're more like special things as they come up.
Does that encompass the broader business aspect of this to remain an ad hoc?
So I think as the council member is describing it, I think it would fit within the realm of an ad hoc. But like I said, be careful. If you start having a regular schedule and you have if you're talking, like if your jurisdiction is business generally, then you're starting to look more like a standing committee. But if it's like we address new businesses as they come up, we address specific issues as they come up, then it's more of an ad hoc.
Yeah.
Okay. All righty, we'll leave that one for now. The CDBG ad hoc, that is definitely an ad hoc, which once it's done and monies are determined, it needs to disband. Agree? Okay, so we can actually get rid of some of these committees and bring them back when we actually need them.
Right.
Okay. Homeless outreach,
Those, we have quarterly meetings with Riverside County, so that's kind of a continuing thing, although they fluctuate a little bit on the date. We just had to change the most recent one. But they have quarterly meetings that we're involved in, and then other things on the side that we may get involved with, so.
And they'll be continuing. They were supposed to end, but
I know.
they put more money into it to continue, so.
yes. The only issue on that one is that they invite everybody. They invite the full council, which then is, yep.
Well, yeah, it's open. I mean, our Aero team goes, city manager goes, so.
That's not
Is it open to the public?
Yeah.
So I think I'd recommend converting that to a standing committee then, just so that it's very clear. And that would also, we should probably encourage them not to invite the entire council.
Yeah.
To invite
Yeah.
one of the committee members.
Exactly.
Otherwise, it's a meeting of the council.
Yes. Agreed. Okay, so,
Standing committee for that one?
Based on the description of a regular meeting schedule and a continuing subject matter jurisdiction over homelessness, that would be my recommendation.
so since that one is led by the county, is it a standing committee for them and they have to do the noticing and minutes?
So no, so if it is something that the council is controlling, so if it is your committee,
We don't control this one.
right, so then,
not that meeting.
so then really what you're doing is you're designating representatives to go to their meeting.
So it would be more like the liaison to outside organization.
Yeah, like WRCOG or.
It could probably be moved down to
So
there.
what these could perhaps be labeled as the homeless outreach liaisons.
There you go.
And
And
they're
that way
simply-
it's not a standing committee.
But again, we do things within our city, especially Joe does. He meets with a couple other groups. He meets with the pastors, and you do more work with, yeah. He does more work with Christian directly. So that's city. So I don't know how to
And I
do
think
that
the
one.
liaison title would actually fit that very appropriately, which is you're the designated council members who, if, someone wants to meet, this is the council member who sort of runs quarterback on that. I think it makes sense.
I agree.
Okay, all righty. Then Veterans Memorial Ad hoc
That's just as needed.
as needed, so we
Yeah.
could remove that and bring it back when we need
Well,
to do things?
I mean, applications are open year-round, and I wanted to bring this up, actually, maybe at another meeting, but, we just did this like a couple years ago that Joe and I were on this. So we opened it for Memorial Day or Veterans Day, that they could do the etchings and the presentation and ceremony. But so far, we've only done it on Veterans Day, plus San Jacinto has the Memorial Day service. So we could probably change that at some point and change the policy. So it's open year-round, and we look at them, the applications, when they come in, but,
And we have new applications that came in too, so.
yeah, so, and we just encourage from time to time people to apply and that, so.
So since it's only when an application comes in,
I think it's very similar to your CDBG committee. And so, if it's as needed and you don't have a regular meeting schedule, I think it's more of an ad hoc. But if you do develop a regular meeting schedule and you have the jurisdiction over these applications.
Yeah, we don't.
Then it looks more like a standing committee.
Yeah, I think it's just an ad hoc.
okay. CDBG is gone. Downtown Theater is definitely an ad hoc. Hemet Youth
Yes.
Council,
Ad hoc,
we can keep that as ad hoc.
yes.
So what does the Hemet Youth, so we have a Hemet Youth Council, and that is the kids.
That's the kids.
These are the liaisons to,
Yes.
okay. So I'd recommend you label this one liaisons as well, because we have a Brown Act body. They follow the Brown Act. They have agendas. They remember when they came and they were like, we can't talk amongst ourselves. I was like, welcome to government.
Yeah,
Um,
the government is.
And so I think that maybe those council members could be labeled as the liaisons. So they're the designated representatives of the city at that Brown Act body.
Okay.
All right.
And moving on, we have cleanup, graffiti, ad hoc. Is that a liaison issue?
Well, when I'm there, I try to talk to the graffiti guys all the time. Because I usually end up meeting them at the department store when they're picking up paint. So, I mean, I'd keep it as an ad hoc for now.
I would think it's maybe more of a liaison, though. That might move down to that category as well.
Yeah, because
Okay.
it's not for
Yeah,
it's not for a specific reason. It's both cleanup and graffiti, which is two different categories. But keeping it as a liaison, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
And I think that takes care of, and the Investment Oversight Committee is a standing committee, so we're okay on that. So we will add the Art and Culture Ad hoc, change that to a standing committee. Change these others to liaisons. Because when you have the standing committee, that's when you need staff, and you need to notice the meetings, and they are open to the public. Okay? Okay? Everybody okay with that? We still keep our assignments. All righty. Thank you so much,
I'm okay.
everybody. I started looking at that and going, oh my gosh, especially art and culture. We have gone beyond our original scope, and it's all good. It is absolutely all good. So, all right, moving on to 18B. Can we get a staff report on the grant funding recommendation for the kitchen program?
Yes, Mayor, I'll be taking that one since our Economic Development Director is on vacation. I do not have a PowerPoint, but I will give a brief verbal introduction here. Back on April 28th, the council sent 2 of the kitchen grant applications back for further review by the business ad hoc. The ad hoc met on May 26th, and direction was provided to staff to go back to Boys Burger and ask if their overall project included grant-eligible items. They did revise their submission, and we did receive that did include grant-eligible items. The ad hoc met again on June 16th, and direction was provided to recommend an award of $150,000 to Carlton's Steakhouse and $37,800 to Boys Burger per their revised submittal of eligible items. And that concludes my report, and I'll turn it back over to you, Mayor.
All right, questions and comments on this item?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Do we have, which I didn't ask on the last one, do we have any members of the public that want to address this item?
Yes, we do have 2 speakers this evening. First speaker is Jessica Alice Wool. And George Evans will be next.
Hi again. Good to see you guys. Okay, Madam Mayor and members of the Hennet City Council, thank you for your time and consideration and continued support of our project. I'm grateful for the opportunity to come before you regarding funding assistance for Carlton Steakhouse. As many of you know, our project has experienced challenges and changes since the original proposal. While circumstances required us to pursue a different path than originally anticipated, our commitment to the city of Hennet has never wavered. We remain dedicated to bringing a high-quality dining experience, new jobs, and long-term economic investment to our community. Carlton Steakhouse represents more than a restaurant. It is an investment in Hennet's future. Our goal is to create a destination that residents can be proud of while encouraging local spending and attracting visitors from surrounding communities. This project will create employment opportunities, generate sales tax revenue, and support local vendors and contribute to the continued growth of our city. One of the most encouraging aspects of this project has been the overwhelming community response. Nearly every day we receive messages through our social media platforms, Google business page, etc., asking when Carlton's will be opening and how people can apply for employment. The excitement and anticipation from residents demonstrates that the demand for this project already exists. As a local realtor serving the Hennet community, I also see firsthand the impact local employment opportunities can have on families. Recently, I worked with a prospective homebuyer who currently commutes to Marietta to work in the restaurant industry. She is a single mother of 3 and is currently going to school to the X-ray tech. When she learned about the Carlton Steakhouse, she immediately asked when we would begin hiring because the opportunity to work closer to home would allow her to spend more time with her kids and reduce the burden of a daily commute. Her story represents many hardworking residents who would benefit from quality employment and opportunities right here in Hennet. I understand the funding recommendation before you tonight is lower than the amount we previously discussed. I do respect the city's responsibility to carefully manage public funds and appreciate the thoughtful consideration that has been given to our project. At the same time, I would also like to ask the council to consider long-term impact and return on investment this project can provide. The difference between the previously discussed amount and the current recommendation represents a relatively small portion of the overall project. That those additional costs could significantly accelerate our ability to create jobs, complete improvements, and bring this business to the community sooner. This project is about more than opening a restaurant. It's about creating an opportunity, supporting local families, and generating economic activity and giving residents a destination that they can be proud of. We are investing substantial private resources alongside the city's investment because we believe in Hennet and its future. 19 and I have deep roots in this community, and we have invested time and resources and energy. Thank you again for your consideration and for all of your continued commitment to the economic development.
Thank you very much. Okay. Questions and comments from council members? Nothing?
No.
Okay, and we do have another speaker. Sorry about that.
George Evans.
Thank you, Council. I'm here talking because I came forward with Boys Burgers to initiate this grant in the hopes, and thank you to Joe Mouse for giving it more consideration. But over the months that have passed recently, I've come to find out that Boys Burgers is for sale and is currently being purchased. When talking to the owner, when I meet with him pretty much on a daily basis, I would ask, what's the game plan? What's the future? What are you planning to do with if you receive this grant and move forward? And at no time, there's no plan, there's no nothing in effect. And, you know, knowing that you have grant money, I think transparency should have been exposed at the time when they requested the grant and when they put in the secondary information that you requested. But there's no business plan, there's no future growth plan of what the money's going to be used for. And I support downtown. I am an advocate for getting downtown rolling. I'm volunteering at the theater every Saturday. I want to see downtown grow. I want to see Hemet. I think what the council's doing currently is a great job, But I also think that when a business asks for $37,000, there should be some transparency if you're going to sell the property or the business, not so much the property. We all know who owns the property, and it's somebody who owns half the buildings in downtown. Okay? And that's who ultimately will benefit from the grant because the equipment stays if you replace equipment. So I just wanted to bring this forth to the city council because, again, I spoke several times at council meetings on this, supporting it, and now I have reservations due to the fact that there's no transparency or no projected plan. So I thank you for your time, and please support our police officers.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay, now questions or comments?
I do have a question. So doesn't that make this application null and void if it's not the person that applied for it?
Legal opinion on that, Jim?
Attorney? So it's certainly something the council can consider when deciding whether it wants to award the grant or not. That being said, the obligations of the agreement are recorded against the property as part of a regulatory agreement. That's one of the reasons why we do that, is to ensure that if the property does change hands, that the obligations and the benefits that the city has entered into will still be enforceable against a future property owner. But certainly, if you look at the general intent of the kitchen grant program, it was to open new businesses in downtown and to assist existing businesses with updating and modernizing. And so, if the council is concerned that this business may take the grant money and then use that for a higher resale value to a future purchaser, that could certainly be something the council would want to consider in whether to award the grant or not. We could, of course, if the council wanted to continue this item, we could certainly have staff reach out to the property owner and business owner and see if there's any additional information. This is the first I've heard about the business being sold.
First we all heard. I got a question. We have a representative of Simon Shoes here. Should we ask him or just wait to talk to Simon Shoe?
Is it Simon Shoe's business? Or Simon Shoe's business, or he owns the property?
owns the property.
He does not own the business.
Does not own the business.
Well, the name's blacked out.
Is there
so
not
I don't know.
something in this grant application that there's an assertion or a wish that the business then remains in business for at least 2 years?
Right.
There is
Yes.
a requirement that the business remain in operation for 2 years.
But not
It is
the same-
possible for the business to sell itself to another and still have the operating business enterprise at the location. And that would meet the requirements of the grant.
And if there isn't any business that goes in there, what happens?
So that's where the regulatory agreement comes into
There you
play.
go.
And so
Okay.
there is a requirement for repayment of the grant proceeds back to the city if the parties don't keep up their end of the bargain.
I also have a question. Have all of these, the one figure that we have here lists items that have been purchased or are going to be purchased that totals the 37,000?
So I don't know that off the top of my head. Maybe Noah can speak to it, but because this is, I didn't know this was Simon's property. But we've had that discussion with his representative before, that it needs to come after the award of the grant.
Right.
So my, I guess, hope would be that these things have not already been purchased, because we would be back where we were before, which is unable to reimburse for those purchases.
That's correct. That's part of the guidelines, that it would only be eligible if it's purchased after it's awarded.
Okay. What's your pleasure?
After.
In light of what was just revealed, I would like Carlton's Steakhouse to get $150,000, and I would like to reserve the $37,000, $37,800 until further notice.
I second that completely.
Would the council like to direct staff to reach out
Yeah.
to the business?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
find out if, I mean,
aren't
I
we
know
supposed
George
to have a
has
business
given us the best
plan?
information he
and-
can, but
Dear God,
it might be
how are we
wise to actually reach out to the business and find out if this is accurate, and then we can bring that report back to the council or to the ad
Yes.
hoc and see what they want to do.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to approve portion of this for Carlton Steakhouse and
Can I ask a
pull
quick
the
question?
one for Boys Burgers.
We do have a reserve amount, and given the fact that Carlton Steakhouse is been bounced back and forth because they've had no other choice, would you mind considering, instead of 150, 175,000?
I'd like to leave it at 150, because that'll give another restaurant an opportunity to open if they have 100,000.
25,000 is not going to do anything.
So there's 62 and 37 more if we don't give it to Boys Burgers. That's another restaurant grant.
That's true, too, yeah. We can have a third round.
Okay, so the motion stands as 150,000 to Carlton Steakhouse and hold the 37.8 to Boys Burgers and for further investigation.
Yes.
Alrighty.
Yes.
We have a motion and a second on that. Could we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Clark?
Yeah.
Councilmember Lodge?
Yes.
Councilmember Peterson?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Males?
Yes.
Mayor Krupa?
Yes. All right. That passes unanimously. Moving on to item 18C, review and approve City Council fiscal year 26-27 strategic plan action items. Can we get a staff report?
Yes, Mayor, that is me again. And good, IT was able to display the strategic plan action items as part of this report. As you may recall, I had intended to bring this back as a consent item, but as I was going through and following the direction from May 12th, I ran into a couple of items that I needed to add, and so I brought it back as a discussion item so that you can provide additional direction and you can attach yourself to additional items if you would like. So as you recall, at a special meeting of the City Council on April 22nd, this fiscal year 26-27 initiatives were developed and prioritized using the air, water, chocolate methodology. Then on May 12th, 2026, the compiled initiatives were brought back to the council to get feedback on 14 that had received just one priority dot, review the overall priority of the list, and to get interest from each council member in being attached to each initiative. The direction provided on May 12th was to consolidate the 14 single dot initiatives into the existing programs and initiatives. It had been added back into this list so that in doing that, I found 10 that were very easy to do that. There were existing initiatives and programs that they fit right into. They didn't need to remain on this list. The other four, two of them really belonged with the Simpson Park plan, and so that hadn't been put on, carried through onto this list. And so I've added that as number 13. You can see that's the Simpson Park plan, and there was a couple items regarding mountain biking and outdoors that really fit with that, so I would combine those there. Then the other two items, number 16 and 17, didn't really have an existing initiative or program that they fit into. And so those have been added, but it's entirely the council's prerogative if you'd like to keep them, and if you are interested in attaching yourself to those. So with that, I will turn it back over to you, Mayor, for discussion.
Okay, do we have any public comments on this item?
We do not.
All right, thank you. I'm seeing a couple contradictions here as we're going through, and on number 7, it's got cleanup, graffiti, ad hoc, and then Peterson and Krupa. That takes in about 4 council members. Because cleanup and graffiti are by a couple other people, and I think Jackie and I were mainly on that for the Hemet Beautiful program that we have. So we're going to have to make a change somewhere on that, on number 7. And if it's the cleanup graffiti ad hoc, council members can be liaisons to that. And I will remove myself from that because that's not, I'm not on that cleanup, and I believe that's. Is
I
that
would love to.
Joe and Tom?
I would love to be on it.
Well,
You are on it.
we're going to remove Jackie and I and put Tom and Joe on there,
Good.
on number 7.
Good catch.
And
All
then
right.
if you could advance the slide presentation so we can see 8 through 15. There we go. Okay, Joe and I are doing that. We're doing okay with that. You see any issues on any of these?
I thought it looked pretty good, so.
Me too, I agree.
I would like to be involved in number 10, if at all possible.
We can certainly
Okay.
add you to that, Councilmember Lodge.
Would you please? Because, you know, cleaning up the city is my thing.
And on number 15, that kind of goes in with the one on the first page with working with the Chamber of Commerce, does it not?
Not really, I don't think so.
Well, because that was developing small business and business outreach for an economic development committee.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's more specific to the Simpson Center facility on the number 15, so I think that would be separate in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think Tom and I are on that.
Yes.
On that one. And with that, Tom, if you have a desire to be on the street sweeping and parking enforcement implementation, would you be receptive to number 17, because that is trash receptacles in key business areas? It's not the trash enclosures. It is trash receptacles. And that kind of comes right into that.
Exactly. I would be more than happy.
Okay. With that, are there any other comments, questions, desires, whatever? Joe?
I do. Number 11, I think we should complete this 5-year long-range financial forecast before we actually do anything, just to see where we're at. I mean, we keep adding items. I stated before that we shouldn't even start anything until we finish with last year's and get that complete, because we're at a negative right now in our general fund. And to add items, even though it doesn't look like it costs, it takes people to get things started and move, so it's going to take time out of our employees that are there. So I think number 11 should be started. We should see where we're at before we continue to do anything.
Let me ask a further question. Tiffany, are you already working on that? And is the new computer modules set up for forecasting?
They are not. The software is not designed to do financial forecasting. The financial forecasting is actually more of a consolidated report over like hypothetical scenarios. When we have done our budget presentations in the past, we have done forecasting scenarios, but the actual 5-year forecast, I have worked on it. I have gotten samples from other agencies, and that's about as far as I've been able to get at this point in time. But I definitely have it in my hip pocket to bring out and start working on.
And that is something I think that we really need to.
It is.
Really need to look at it and just have, how much is that computer program? The projections and forecasting?
For the software implementation that we did? Do you mean the cost of the software itself?
Right.
It was probably around $350,000 to do the implementation. There is ongoing cost for the software, which is probably anywhere between $20,000 a year. That's split amongst different departments.
Plus a maintenance fee for that?
Yes, that's the annual ongoing, yeah.
And does it have AI to help you with your report writing?
Not yet, but it is.
Not yet.
It's in the cloud, so it updates. We get the latest and greatest. So as the software gets updated, as time progresses, we'll have access to any of those improvements that it makes.
But not yet, okay.
Our budget software has AI, which is very cool.
Yeah, yeah. Is there any way with that budgeting that you can do projections based on what ifs, that if, sales tax increases by this or property tax decreases by that this could have a direct effect on how we estimate revenue and expenses?
Yeah, there probably is something that we can reach out to the vendor and look into.
You should have a support representative.
Mhm.
Can you call them and ask them
Yeah.
how we could do that and see if they may have something and all they have to do is just enable that feature.
Yeah, we can do that. I know that for pension modeling, we do have a different vendor that does that for us, that they can actually project out, but that's just specifically for pension costs. It's not for the whole financial forecast of general fund.
Yeah, because we need to do a 5-year long-range financial report.
Yes.
So I would
Well,
first
we
thing I'd
do
do is
have-
just call support and ask them, or your
We do-
representative.
We do have revenues by fund, and those things, like anything that's covered by a grant or anything like that, that's an ability to project out 5 years. How long is the grant? Like, for instance, the SAFE grant, we've got it until first of next year. So we can be starting this as soon as, because I've got it all right here, and I've been looking at it pretty closely.
Yeah, we do have all the historical data.
Yeah.
It's just compiling it together and creating narratives.
Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of these items will not take a lot of money. We can start on these, and we've carried over items to the following year. So this is like a plan. This doesn't mean that we have to complete it all this fiscal year. So we can start on it and, start taking action. It's an action plan, so.
Definitely is one of those that's a priority that we need to look at. Find out how we can do it at the most reasonable cost and get the most accurate projection figures. So, okay, any other questions or comments? If not,
Joe, did you want to add yourself on to that number 11 with me?
Sure. Definitely, yes. Can we do that?
add Joe on to number 11.
Thank you.
Very good. Now, can I have a motion to approve this item with the changes we've made today?
I,
Okay,
go
motion,
ahead.
motion by Tom. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Please do a roll call.
Councilmember Clark?
Yes.
Councilmember Lodge?
Yes.
Councilmember Peterson?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Males?
Yes.
Mayor Krupa?
Yes, that item passes unanimously. Now moving on to 18D, fiscal year 26-27 operating budget. Welcome again, Tiffany. Can we have a staff report?
Hey, good evening. Tonight, we are going to go over the 26-27 final budget workshop. There hasn't been too much that has changed since the last meeting, but today's purpose is to provide 2026-27 budget update since that last meeting on June 9th, 2026. Consider and select liability insurance coverage option. Adopt the fiscal 26-27 operating budget. So recap of where we left off on June 9th, 2026. We started the operating deficit for the general fund was at about $13.3 million. We were able to get that down to $4.5 million deficit as of June 9th. The cost containment measures are listed there of what we deployed up till May 12th, and then again on up to June 9th. And the next following slides will have a recap of what's happened since June 9th to where we are today. So for the revenues, there really hasn't been very much change at all. In this, there is about a $440,000 increase from the last presentation, and that is included into the line item that you see for other miscellaneous. It's the increase of land use rental SRO contract. This is actually where the CR&R agreement funds will be deposited into. That was a $500 or $500,000 increase. And then there was a decrease of $60,000 that is in billboard revenue that was listed in that use of money and property. That was an overstatement that we adjusted after we were reviewing. We noticed that. So it's a net increase of $440,000 on the revenue side. Expenditures on the department side, they are really not very much has fluctuated in that. They are very modest increases overall, comparing to where we are right now at this point in time. The non-departmental, and I do apologize because I know it was brought up that the notes section wasn't included in the staff report, so it didn't give a lot of detail of what all those non-departmental items are. But you will see them before you listed from high to low of the expenditures that are categorized as non-departmental, which means it really doesn't belong to a department. And it includes anywhere from the tax sharing of the auto dealerships to the remontable contribution to other agency dues. So. One-time uses, we did go over that at our last budget presentation. The only thing that I do want to note is that there is a $1.5 million for the liability insurance buy-down SIR that is in the Measure U. We are going to be going over some liability options that we have that may not include a buy-down, but it still is recommended that $1.5 million is coming from Measure U to help pay for the insurance premiums. And I'll let you just review those items again. They are coming from General Fund and Measure U for the different departments. And that brings us to the overall deficit is now at $4.14 million versus the $4.5 million deficit that we were at on June 9th. The subsequent cost containment measures are listed here before you. We went from the $4.5 million deficit down to a $4.14 million deficit. And that includes the adjustment to the revenues of $440,000. There are some departmental increases for police, admin services, public works, and fire. So these are the only changes that have occurred since our last budget workshop. Taking that deficit of $4.14 million, it will come off of the reserve, which will project, and these are just very preliminary projections. A lot can happen between now and June 30th of 2027, but that does put us at an ending balance of $23.7 million in the reserve. That is about a 32% reserve balance over the 40% that is in the resolution. So this is just a graphical presentation of where we are projected to land. The impact to the reserve, this graph shows that draw on the fund balance. You can see that the yellow portion, that is general fund, is very small. It's dissipated over the years. The reserve is still very healthy at a 32% reserve, but it is not the 40% reserve that is adopted. Just something to notate. And then I wanted to highlight one of the paragraphs that was in the city manager's transmittal letter because it is very significant. Financial challenges have grown over the past 2 fiscal years, and absent of meaningful growth in recurring revenues and/or additional expenditure reductions, the city will likely be required to implement further workforce reductions in future fiscal years, potentially including public safety positions, in order to maintain fiscal sustainability and preserve balanced budgets. While every effort will be made to minimize impacts on service delivery, restoring long-term structural balance will require difficult decisions if revenues do not keep pace with expenditure growth. And now we move into the liability insurance piece that we are asking for direction. There has been some very last-minute changes that have happened. We got off the phone with our broker at 4 o'clock this afternoon. The option 1 that is as expiring is still holding at about $7 million for the premium. That is what is included in the budget document that has been published. So that is included. I see there's a mistake that didn't get updated, which is where it says 1.24 million is the savings. That is not correct. It should still be at 945,000. We do have on the line our broker with Alliant, which is Robert Lowe. He is going to explain the updates to the alternative option that we have. What it turns out to be is that we have 3 different options for the option 2 alternative 1. So it's this slide here is the 3 different versions that we can choose from for that second piece where I have the updates to option. Robert, are you there on the line by chance?
I'm here, Tiffany. Can you guys hear me?
Yes. The alternatives that we have here, the most comparable to what we have right now is the alternative option 2, which is a very slight increase to the premium for over renewing. This is basically what we currently have, but it does not increase our years that we are committed to in these policies. The option number 1 and the option number 3 do add a 4th year, so that is the main difference. However, you do see that there is a reduction in savings, but it does come with an additional year of commitment to those policy terms. I'm going to let Robert speak to those 3 different options and how they contrast in comparison to the renewing as is. Go ahead,
Thanks,
Robert.
Tiffany. Good evening, Madam Mayor, members of the City Council. Essentially, I will try not to get too technical in terms of insurance jargon to not confuse you guys. We're going to focus predominantly on the middle option because that falls very much in line with the long-term planning goal that we have for the city of Hemet, which is through the 3-year commitment to that first layer, which you'll see at the bottom, right above the blue line, the lower blue line in the middle option. It says Allianz, found midterm adjustment in force for 3-year deal, entering year 2 of 3. Essentially, the goal has always been for us to get a little bit of separation from the historical losses that the city has had. And then when we come off of the 3-year term, find an option for another JPA or pool that the city can join and participate in, just larger limits, more cost containment, and more stability long term. The middle option, which is alternative option 2, provides an additional $243,000 of savings over the budgeted numbers that Tiffany just showed you guys. I'm sorry, $273,000 lower. So it's an additional reduction, but what it does is it puts us in a position to be able to explore a pooled option in 2027 rather than 2028 rather than extending an additional year. In order to make the pricing work for stretching the lower layer to redesign the overall liability tower, the insurance carrier had to add a 4th year to the overall placement, which essentially is the top and the bottom option, alternative option 1 and alternative option 3. Now, that just puts us further out from being able to explore JPA options, because that would put us into 2029 rather than putting us into 2028, which would be beneficial to the city. Ultimately, at the end of the day, when you compare apples to apples expiring premium, the middle option that's being recommended today, alternative option 2, is essentially a flat renewal over the expiring. It's an additional $273,000 less than what the budgeted liability cost was. If we want, again, the per expiring option is still very much in play and available to you. The same 3-year plan applies, but it is more expensive. The other 2 options, by adding the 4th year, essentially we are sharing the same total limit that the policy is offering. We're extending it an additional year. So it's a 4-year term sharing the same total limit. And it pushes our options of exploring a joint power authority further out.
So as it
I'm
stands
going to
right,
pause there and wait for any questions.
I was just going to mention that staff's recommendation at this point is the alternative option 2, which is about $300,000 less than what is budgeted, and it maintains the same coverage limitations, and it does not lock the city into an additional year.
Yes.
Is excuse me, is this newest one, alternative option 2, which was what we had at the last one, but it's just lowering the premium, is that correct?
Actually, it's what you guys had at the last one, but the premium is a bit more expensive.
This is what we had at the last one, the option 2, alternative 1. These 3 that are listed here are supplementing that one. So now instead of just those 2 options, we have the renewing and then these 3 options as the
As you saw on that slide, the option 2 from last time still said in progress. It sounds like, what's transpired with our communication with our broker today is that option, when it went back to the writer, they weren't able to write it at that, and so that would have it would have cost the same or so as the renewing option. So these other ones are what has transpired from that one, and it's morphed into these 3. And we are recommending the number 2 because it really provides the same coverage as the as expiring, the same aggregate, and in the same period of time. So we wouldn't be stuck for an additional year.
We don't get hit if we have 2 lawsuits, but if we have a third, we do? Or how does that work?
No, on this one, the aggregate is actually the same as what our renewal would be.
So it has.
And
the
that's a
same
new change.
Number of incidents.
Yes.
That's it, because at our last meeting, we were concerned about that aggregate. That was the big thing that we were hesitant on.
Right.
So now if it's the same and it's less, but then we're tied into it for an extra year?
No.
Or not?
Not on that one. The other 2, number 1 and number 3 here would add a year to the term.
Okay, so number 2 does not.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, Chief, you're back on.
Well, number 2 is our best option at the moment.
Yes, we are going to hear from Chief Ariano on his take like we did last meeting.
Oh, good.
I agree with exactly what Noah said. Option 2 on this one, and I really like the idea of not extending it that 4th year. That way we have a chance to go back out and, shop and see if we can get a better deal. So, absolutely.
And we've got the same number of, quote, incidents that will not happen.
Yes, so it's not the number of incidents, it's the amount, total amount. So you can have 10 incidents,
Right.
as long as you're under that aggregate, you're still good. But it's when you go past that 16 million, then we're on the hook at
Okay,
that.
I didn't realize that. But this doesn't just pertain to police.
No, it
No, it's
pertains to every
citywide.
department.
so-
Yeah.
I think we just use the 2 as an example, correct me if I'm wrong, Noah. If we had 2 $8 million cases or $10 million cases, then we're on the hook for $4 million on top of because we'd have 16 total, but then it's over that. It'd be 20 at that point. So it's not the amount, it's the total amount of money, not the amount of
Total amount
incidents.
spent. Okay.
But it's 1 year shorter than the other 2.
And that's
I really
good.
like that option.
Yeah, that part is definitely a step in the right direction to just do that.
We need to see the light at the end of the tunnel that's not the train.
Yes, and that's always the case. We do not need any trains in our tunnel. But, and then with, excuse me. So this will save us,
It's about 207.
273,000.
so we can hire a risk manager.
That is recommended, yes, whether it be a risk manager person that's an in-house employee or a consultant, either one, I think we definitely need that in our
What
organization.
happened to the 900,000 we were supposed to save
That's a
on
different
the last option?
Things are improving. Any questions for the chief or from Tiffany? Tom, any questions?
No, I am good. Thank you.
Okay, so we're in agreement that on this screen, alternative option number 2 with the 25 to 28 policy term is the one we want.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
got the same coverage and everything, and it's less, so,
Yeah.
Okay.
And then,
Thank
just
you,
for
Chief.
transparency purposes, we're going to reduce the line item that's in non-departmental by this 273,000.
Okay,
Okay.
all right.
So that does decrease that deficit under 4 million.
look at her smile.
I have one question on that. Excuse me. Darn, I sound like Kennedy. I can't even
Wait,
talk.
well, my allergies are coming over to you, so.
I'm sorry?
I said my allergies
Oh,
are.
that's what it
That's
is,
why I'm
okay.
feeling better. You're getting them.
We used money from our reserve and brought it down to 32%, correct?
Yes.
Correct, that is the
Okay.
projection, yes.
Just a question, why couldn't we just bring it down to 25% and use, more money to bring this deficit down? Why did we just choose 32% instead of 25%? And the reason I ask is 25% is still higher than what we had when we first started. I mean, I think we had 15% originally, and so 25 would be 10% more. I don't understand why we can't use that, up to 25%.
The reserve is covering the deficit, so we're already using the reserve to balance the budget.
Only the 32% though, where
It brings down a reserve.
Yeah, yeah. it
right,
brings-
why can't we bring down the reserve to 25%?
That's a council motion.
Okay, we don't need it, but we're
But just-
-4 still, -4 million.
That's covered
Now
by.
under
But it's
3.
going to pull from the fund balance to make it even.
Okay,
But it does impact that reserve. But even if you were to change your reserve balance to 5%, 25%, you still have a structural deficit. Your revenues are not meeting your expenditure
right. I know it's
requirements.
still negative, but, okay, well, we gotta fix that.
I do have, go ahead, Connie.
No, go
Oh, okay, I do have one question. In the very beginning, when there's the estimates on sales tax, the sales tax is forecasted flat and down, but Measure U, which is also a sales tax, but a different type of sales tax, is assuming a larger increase. Can you explain why?
Yes. So Measure U sales tax is collected in outside surrounding cities. So, for example, a lot of us use Amazon. If you purchase something and it comes out of the Beaumont Distribution Center, Beaumont is collecting that sales tax, but the Measure U tax, because it's being delivered to the city of Hemet, we get that sales tax revenue. So we're getting that additional revenue that's being generated in other cities if the delivery of that purchase is here in town.
Why don't we raise our Measure U?
We need to send a bulletin to everybody that lives here. That,
So the Bradley Burns is what she's referring to, like if it was outside, and so like Beaumont would get that point of sale, Bradley Burns sales tax, but they would still pay the Measure U for where they live, the use tax in Hemet.
now, if we had a Amazon distribution center here, we would collect that sales tax plus the Measure U sales tax.
is any of this goes into what they fondly call the county pool, and we get assessed, or is that all changed?
I don't know specifically if we're, talking about Amazon or something. I know that when we hold the food truck events, those sales taxes go into the county pool and we get a small portion of it. We don't get the full tax.
Okay. Connie, you had a question?
I forgot.
I thought I was the only one. That did that.
Well, I was listening to,
Okay.
I want to complete the insurance part, but then I have an after question.
Okay. So the direction from council is to go with the option 2, correct?
Yes, do we need a motion for it?
Yes.
Should we do a separate motion on that, and then?
I think when you vote to approve the budget, you can say by going with option 2, just so that we have it in the minutes.
Okay. So, any additional questions on the budget?
Not from me.
okay, I'm going to be a Debbie Downer.
Okay.
And Christmas decorations, I don't support, only because,
Is that in the budget?
yeah.
Yes, it
It's
is.
in the proposed
Okay,
budget line
so
item.
the Christmas decorations, they cost less if they're new, they're LED lights, okay? So it'll be lower cost to the city for utilities. The old ones are getting very, very worn. We want to revitalize downtown. We want to bring visitors into our city. We don't want them going to other cities and taking photo ops by their Christmas decorations. We want them to come to our city and spend money and get more taxes from their dollars.
Okay, it's $100,000, because I wasn't done. $100,000 is a warm body that can perform jobs that we are freezing. Number 2, we just last year got brand-new Christmas ornaments. They're still new this year, this coming year. Every city in the state of California is seeing reduced revenue. They are freezing, they're cutting, they're doing all the things that you have to do. Getting $100,000 worth of Christmas ornaments this year, I just can't support. And I can tell you, hundreds of people that I have asked, and I've been asking a lot of people, and they've also been coming back, they're like, don't do it. Don't do Christmas. It's all new last year. It'll be new this year. We can put them in new places. But
I agree.
we don't have it. We don't have $100,000. I love Christmas. And Joe can attest to the fact that when we have union that sees $100,000 and they can't get a increase, we're living outside our means. And that's my view.
I appreciate that.
And like I always said, I owned a business for 20 years, and if I couldn't afford something, I didn't buy it. And we're at that same area now. We can't afford it. And plus, what's the city branding initiatives? What does that consist of?
It is purchasing items such as, well, I would say it's probably more so along like envelopes, business cards, any kind of swag, I would say, for economic development purposes.
I think that may include even like the new flags along Harvard Street that would be our new logo and our new
We
branding.
can wait a year because by a year, we'll be hiring our new economic director.
Do you know
I mean,
of,
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be good to, we went through this effort, and I think that, especially in our downtown, it would be good to start showing that new branding.
Well, our library, we're going to replace the library floor because it has the old logo,
because it has what?
the old logo,
The elevator
The
does.
library has the city seal, it doesn't have a logo.
the seal then.
No, you don't replace
We're
the
not
city
changing
seal.
the seal?
Seals
Oh.
do not change.
Okay. Well, I thought they did. I'm
No,
sorry.
they don't.
And I personally believe that, except for Hemet Beautiful, we should stop buying T-shirts for everything.
I agree.
That's just a ridiculous cost.
Do we have that in here too?
A lot of that comes from sponsorships, Tom. We don't pay for that. The sponsors pay for it.
I don't know about
Okay. Well, as long as it's not coming out of our pocket.
And if I could just
that-
say, the Christmas decorations allocation, I don't think there's any way would be spending $100,000. The things we bought last year were the two bulbs or two additions in Weston Park.
Right.
It didn't change what we have on the streets, and that's what we're looking at for the LED lights. We will be getting a presentation, I believe, on June 26th, to go through and see what, if anything, we want or need or can look at, and what the cost would be at that time. We haven't received, we have our little wish list that comes every year, but we've never spent that. So anything we can save, we will save.
Okay.
I agree with Connie. We just can't afford it. I mean, I wish I would look more on the line items here, and I would have probably found more, but.
Well, I mean, I went through, I've done my homework, but it isn't, it's the dwindling of the state putting more on the city because they're not providing us money. It's the COVID shrinking of the pandemic financial relief that's going out. Inflation and the decline of tax revenue, that's 100% across the board. Probation department and the sheriff's department are holding and maybe even letting off. So we collectively in the state of California have to remember this is the public's fund. And I wonder what the public says about purchasing Christmas decorations when they want boots on the ground and they want fire trucks to show up and they want our roads fixed. That's my thought process. And I don't want to be the Debbie Downer. Please trust me in the fact that I believe in exactly what you guys want, but it's what is it that we're doing for the best and the public's money? That's my
Very
2
good.
cents.
Can I make this suggestion, since we do have to pass this budget tonight, and it has to be a balanced budget, which it is at this point, that these items on the Christmas decorations and the city branding initiatives will come back to council as line items for a vote at a council meeting, and at that time, we can say yes or no.
I fully support that.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. Second it.
We're going to remove them from here then?
No, we're not. We're going to
We're
leave them
leaving
in
them,
here,
but-
and when they come back to council as a line item vote, we can say, no, we don't want to spend that money, and that will then
Go back in.
take up this.
Attorney, is that legal? Is that?
So, I guess,
I don't want to hear next meeting or when this comes up, say, we fooled you. You know, it's got to.
I would never tell you that. So I guess my question to the mayor is, are you approving the budget as is with those amounts appropriated, but you are directing staff not to expend that money without council approval? So, you know, if you're going to purchase Christmas ornaments, you need to bring it back for a vote?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay, so you're limiting the contracting authority of the city on both those items? Okay.
And that's what it should be. Okay, any other comments?
I have an after comment.
You have an after comment? Okay, well, okay, we need to pass the budget. Would anybody like to make the motion?
I make the motion that we pass the budget, except for the line items and conventions.
There are three issues.
I don't have it in front of me.
And my laptop just died.
Oh, not good.
So how about if I try to tackle this here? Dear God. All right, I recommend that we approve the fiscal year operating budget of 2026-27 as presented, to include option number 2 in the liability insurance coverage, and to not act on 2 line items, Christmas and
Branding.
branding, thank you, until the presentation of the purchase and the items specifically,
Right.
Is that
And
correct?
approval by the city council.
and approved then by the city council.
And the number 1, receive and file.
And number 1, receive and file, yes.
The Measure U Citizen Oversight Committee letters of support.
Thank you, Dick Clark.
Okay, we have a motion with the caveats in there. That's all recorded? Okay,
Is that
we have a
specific?
motion. Do we have a second?
I second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Please do a roll call.
Councilmember Clark?
Yes.
Councilmember Lodge?
Yes.
Councilmember Peterson?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Males?
Nails. Oh, I didn't know if you were asleep.
No, I'm not asleep. How am I supposed to sleep with this? And this includes all the freezing and all the
Yeah,
non-hiring?
yeah.
I-
Well, no, it just approves what we have here. If we
For
can,
option 2.
yeah, for option 2, if we can do something like pull a rabbit out of the hat, that would be great. I know for a fact that my building that I work in is being sold. So there's a tax revenue. You know, I'm just trying to say.
Mayor Pro Tem Males.
I'm thinking. Oh, yeah.
I'm going to start playing the Jeopardy song.
Come on.
Decision appreciated. Oh, yeah. Was this budget have to pass by four of the five?
I believe it's 4/5, isn't it?
It can pass by a majority.
Oh,
Or
okay.
just by, oh, no.
Okay.
Shouldn't have told him that.
Mayor Krupa.
Yes. That item passes with 4-1.
Did Tom say yes?
Huh?
Tom already spoke?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's okay. We did our roll call. Okay. You wanted to say something?
Yes, okay. So we have an ordinance that says we want a 40% reserve.
Right.
We have just broken our own ordinance.
Which is what it's there for.
So if we want to change that, do we need to do it soon, or do we do it at the end of the fiscal year? How do we handle that ordinance and the change if we need to make it?
So that's a good question. That's something I talked about with the city manager earlier today. So your reserve has not gone below 40% just because you've approved the budget, right? It's going to be drawn down over the course of the year. So my recommendation is that we do make that change, bring the first reading at the next meeting of the city council. I'd recommend you reduce it back to 20, which is where it was before. Whatever other
Yeah,
number,
I wouldn't want it that
whatever
low.
other number the city
I wouldn't
council
want it that
pledges
low.
me. If you would like to give me a number. and tell me to bring it
30%.
back-
32.
30, yeah.
We'll bring it back blank, and the council can have that discussion and give that direction at that time. Although it is not urgent that it happen immediately, my recommendation is that we get that on the books now so that we don't end up in a situation later in the year where folks are saying, where's your reserve at? Are you actually below that number?
Yeah, okay, great, thank you.
All righty. And with that, let's move on to council, city council and staff reports. Connie?
Here we go. June 14th, I participated with Flag Day at Valleywide. Jackie and several of the San Jacinto council members and Mr. Males attended. This was revitalizing the city has done this, or the area had a Flag Day for many, many years and then stopped. So this was kind of rejuvenation. It was fun. My grandson went and he got to put all the flags out. Incidentally, my grandkid's here, so most of this stuff he's had been drugged to. Rendezvous Coffee on June 17th, they had a soft opening. That's going to be a really cool place. Organic breads made locally. They've got a really cool glass gravity coffee that was maker. And they're making their own flavored syrups. It's phenomenal, and they've got it. It's a real kudo for us. And then June 18th, we wore sneakers or flats to WRCOG, which is the Western Riverside Council of Governments, where Tony Hawk spoke, and we'll see what we can get next year, maybe an admiral again. But it was fun. All of us attended except for Tom, and he will next year. June 19th, Summer Bash, that was hosted by Supervisor Gutierrez. I spoke with County Youth Council. They work with Banning's Youth Council, and they're going to, I'm going to shout them out a little email, and they're going to include our council in some of their stuff. Lots of tents, probation, CDF, the posse, Hemet PD was there, and the Quilt Guild. We had Mayor and her Ramona, that you were there. My grandson loved the laser tag and the rock climbing, and there was like a 3-year-old girl with a cute little skirt, and she went and passed up my grandson like, vroom. And then we had it on the 22nd, we had our TUMF Executive Committee meeting. And so they are also stating that they have funds that are going down. There's a carryover of $16.8 million for Hemet San Jacinto. Our projected for 2025 to 26 is just $6.3 we don't have a lot of TUMF projects here, but they made their last payment for the realignment and TUMP's portion of its payment to the revenue for our little realignment. So they will have paid off their business. And let's see. I spoke with Carol Kendrick, and she sends her best wishes to all you guys. And she's doing well, and she has a bad budget. So I don't feel so bad. Thank you.
Thank you. Tom?
Well, I've been asked to give an update. A couple of months ago, I had my back operated on. It got infected. It got sepsis. That's why I haven't been around. And I'm looking towards the drone show as my comeback party. So everything goes right. I will be out of this rehabilitation by the 4th of July. So I will see you all on the 5th.
We will be looking forward to seeing you here. Thank you, Tom. Jackie?
Okay, so Connie stole most of my thunder. I just wanted to thank Supervisor Gutierrez, though, for such a great event that he held at Larry Minor Park in San Jacinto for the county. It was a District 5 celebration, and it was very well attended, had a wonderful band, and he was very pleased. He was very happy with the turnout, and it was a great celebration, so that was good. And we are going to honor Dr. Roger Schultz from MSJC on Thursday. They have an open house in Temecula on their campus, and the city of Hemet is going to represent, and we got him a nice little token that is very beautiful. So we will be presenting that to him on Thursday. And that's all I have for now.
Okay, thank you. Joe?
Okay. She stole our thunder, WRCOG, the bash, but Supervisor Istian Gutierrez did a great job out there. The band played the Eagles,
Yeah.
so that was good. And then I also attended the special grant meeting that we had with the interim city manager, our economic director, Ben Sandoval, and our other grant ad hoc committee member, Councilmember Peterson. And that's when we approved the grants for both Boys Burgers and Carlton Steakhouse. And what else? That's it. Again, it was a great WRCOG meeting. Tony Hawk was great. He skateboarded over the ceiling and had a good one. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. A couple things that I attended that haven't been mentioned, and maybe the city manager will, but went to the Hemet Police Department Annual Awards banquet. And the high point for me for going to those things is to put faces by the statistics that Hemet PD does. So number of DUIs, number of recovered stolen vehicles, number of felony arrests, all of that stuff. And Hemet PD does an excellent, excellent job. The other thing I attended this morning was the ribbon cutting for the new McDonald's, which is out on the Ramona Expressway and Main Street. And I will tell you that my city GPS wanted to take me to North State Street and the Ramona Expressway, but it's way over on the other side. It was probably the biggest group of people that I have ever seen at a fast food restaurant opening. All the parking lots were filled. I parked in the dirt, and it was absolutely incredible. However, the other thing, T-Now had our meeting last week or the week before, and we had a presentation from a young man from Eastvale regarding the blue envelope. And I would like the chief to come up and tell us what that program is all about. I was very, very pleased that Hemet PD has already adopted that program, and the chief can tell us more about it.
And while he's walking up, can I mention, we also attended the Juneteenth event, and NOAA presented a proclamation to their officers, and it was a good event.
Yes.
So you can probably elaborate more than I can.
Okay. Blue envelope, tell us about it.
I've heard of it. We don't have that exactly, but we do have a registry with the sheriff's department. So it's essentially the same thing. It's just not the blue envelope methodology.
Tell what the program actually is.
Special
with
needs, autistic
special needs.
children and adults. And so there's specific stickers that are on cars and the windows of residences. There's a registry. So if someone goes missing, there's easier ways to find this person, where they go and whatnot. So we have essentially the same thing. It's just not the blue envelope program. But
This young man who came and talked to us is autistic. He is in his mid-20s maybe, and shared a story of the nervousness and exhibiting actions if you get into a situation where you don't know how to control it. And one of them was an interaction with police officers or anybody of authority like that, and that the benefit is that if police officers are aware and they're handed something or know something, a decal on the car, that nervousness is a way of life. And stuttering and sweating and all of these outward signs are not signs of evasion or guilt or anything. It's just, this is what happens. So, but he said that Hemet PD was working with Riverside County Sheriff, and that you had done the training, which I think is exemplary. And I thank you very much.
So the blue envelope essentially tells the police officer or whoever what they're diagnosed with and what the traits are, what they have. Yeah, exactly. So they don't think that they're nervous and up to something no good, and it's the total opposite.
Exactly. It's another step to working with the public and with a positive outcome. So thank you very much, Chief. I appreciate that. And Mid-County Parkway groundbreaking is tomorrow. And even though the construction has been going on for probably 2.5 to 3 months, we are going to do a groundbreaking tomorrow. And with that, Interim City Manager, do you have a report?
I do. Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to start with just saying I'm happy that we have a budget to start the new fiscal year. And I'd like to remind, the council and the community that we did a lot of, cost saving measures to bring the deficit down from 13.3 to now under 4 million. But I'd like to make it very clear that some of those measures are not sustainable. So, we can't do the same things year after year, and we're going to have to address that deficit in the coming year.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay,
So I'm gonna continue. We did had a great Juneteenth event on Friday. I really enjoyed the music. That was probably my favorite. But the Black Voices of the Valley did a great job with that. Was day one of their event, and I know that they went to Golden Era for the next day. So that was fun. I'd like to remind everyone that hasn't already seen this on Hemet365.com. We have our movie in the park this Friday at Mary Henley Park. The festivities will start around 7:30, and the movie will start as soon as the light allows it. And that's all I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Any other comments from anyone? All right, there being no further business, this meeting is adjourned to the next council meeting on July 14. In the meantime, happy 4th of July. And just remember, there's a 4th of July parade in San Jacinto on July 4th, and the second annual Hemet drone program out at the Hemet Auto Mall on the 5th. Thank you so much. We are adjourned.